What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is DH Thorne coming live at you with myself, my wife, and my good friend, the Priest of Flesh, who we all decided to be here tonight. We decided to have a good time and say hello to the world. Hello, world. Isn't that a very basic kind of code, Plushie, in programming language?
Yes. In fact, I know how to use every programming language in existence because I can write hello world in them.
That's a good way to think of it.
Except for maybe brainfuck. Brainfuck, just no.
You know, a wise man once says, I don't need
that.
to be able to program, I just need to be able to program the man who knows how to program. So, what's up, my wife lady? How are you?
I am doing. I survived another season and have reached my summer days off. I am so thankful for that.
You've had work apotheosis.
It took a while to recover from that this year, too.
Yeah, it's like the first time you had more than one day off, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a fun week this week. We already went to the Stinky Rock store, where all the yoga pants people are, and we bought some junk to like throw at each other when we're mad, so we can cleanse each other's auras. And that'll be pretty fucking cool.
I take a little bit of issue with the whole yoga pants thing. The way that you use that as considering you can't see what I'm wearing below this camera, but
well,
it's relevant.
you know. There's a way of looking at it. There's a way of thinking about it. Hopefully you guys can see me, at least my friends on the other end. Tell me, Flushy, you can see me right now, right?
I can see half your face. The other half is covered up by a big gray box.
Yeah, same.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Now it's gone. Oh,
Yeah.
How about now?
now you're all covered and we're not.
How about now?
As an interesting behind the scenes for people watching this over there, DH is going to try doing artwork again, but every time
Don't tell him.
he tries to... He's pulling up other pages on his computer, and every time he pulls up another page, it blocks our video feed. So, last time I seemed really... okay. It's because I couldn't see shit. I was just talking to myself in a dark room.
So I'm going to show you my whole screen then, and this will hopefully be okay.
And
So you can see me over there.
uh-huh.
I don't know if that's any better. That might be worse, right?
Yeah, because now I just see me. So that's like 1,000 times more awful. And
You see yourself twice too.
And we have a super chat from Shaman who says, "Long time no see, in between lectures. Have a great night, brothers and sisters." You have a good night
I
too,
appreciate
dude.
you, man. Thank you, Shaman. Thank you so much. Let's try doing this again. Let's see. No, not Skype. That was dumb.
Technical
sorry, guys.
difficulties.
I'm just screwing up. That's what it really is.
I-
You know what they need to do, and I guess I know why they do it, but they really need to make it so that I can just capture, just like I do in OBS, capture a screen on Skype. But this is what I'll do. So I don't really need the Skype window open, but of course it's going to insist on being open. So I'm going to stick that like over in the bottom corner somewhere, and I'll open this, and I'll watch you on OBS. That's what I'll do. So that'll give me pretty much everything I need, and hopefully you guys will stay on top for the most part. I had an app once that allowed me to keep certain windows on top, and I lost it. So, anyway, guys, I have no idea what we're going to talk about tonight, except when I made the title of this, I was reading up on Thanatos, and I was feeling a little melancholy. I'm just figuring, like, I'm starting to think Thanos maybe wasn't completely wrong, and sympathy for the Thanos at the very least.
Wait,
So,
what the fuck is Thanatos?
You don't know what a Thanatos is?
No. Should I?
Oh my ignorant god.
Just to be fair, you're not the only one, so...
Oh my god. We call ourselves a magical stream.
Educate us.
Please, a wise one.
Hey, I know.
Okay,
no,
everybody
I'm-
in chat,
I'm-
whoever knows,
I'm
without
the
googling it,
fucking
what's a
caveman-
Thanatos?
Caveman wizard. Come on now.
Who be Thanatos? Yeah, let me do the Joe Rogan. What in sky thing, flyer bright? What do why have?
You will explain this to Rojogan. You will explain it now, Magic Man.
No, not Thanatos like Mentos, you fool. TM Hildikin says Thanatos like Mentos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess in a way though it would be like ooh-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-ah. That's pretty much what it would be.
I'm gonna be super out of this because I don't know what Thanatos is, and I never even watched any of the Marvel movies. So I'm just super out of this whole discussion. You're gonna have to do a lot of educating.
So Thanatos is indeed, according to the chat, they are correct. It is the Greek incarnation, personification, god, if you will, of death, a chthonic spirit, of course, an underworld spirit. However, it is not like a god of death like we might imagine in many of our modern takes on death. It is actually the god of peaceful death. It's not the god of like war death. It's not the god of vengeance. Let me turn this music off or change it. It's not the god of like that kind of death. It's literally like it's just your time, right? It is the death itself, the peaceful end of death. So it is not. He's very cold and stern. I'm trying to find a music. Here we go. Here's some music. He's very cold and stern in a way, but he at the same time, there's nothing malicious about it. It's like kind of like it's just business. You're here, you're here to go. That's what you're here for.
Just come on.
So
bus leaves right now.
Which is actually interesting if we are talking about Thanos from Marvel, because one could argue that what he did was a peaceful form of death. He didn't have everybody explode with gunshots in their heads. They just all ceased to be. That was what he did. He just deleted them. So that is an interesting.
Yeah, they all. I know from the memes, it's just like a puff of dust. That's not so bad. There's a lot worse ways you could go. Puff of dust. That's
puff of dust. He's the puff of dust. He's the puff of dust. Puff of dust. Death guy.
He's that puff daddy.
Yeah, he's the puff daddy.
And he says, it's not done with pain because they say I don't feel anything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Eddie
Spider-Man
says
said he didn't feel good.
Eddie says the god of boring death. That's who we're talking about. The god. Yeah. Yes, indeed. So Crackbite says, I actually Googled Thanatos after reading the stream topic and felt all super stupid again. Yeah, good point. Eddie points out Thanos in Marvel was in fact in love with death. So here's kind of like some things we can bring to the table. We're not really going to be talking about Thanos, guys. That wasn't the point. And it's not even necessarily going to be about death or Thanatos, although that might come up. It is going to be maybe a little bit of a discussion, at least partially, about pop culture, maybe, the things that emerge, the things that filter through into pop culture from actual occult, mystical, mystery stuff that is actually of importance. There's a reason why so many people today have kind of a working knowledge of so many deep things without necessarily having to be instructed about them. That's not to say everybody. There are clueless people, of course. But a lot of people have just an inborn knowledge, the Jungian collective conscious at work, where people just know. It's built into us like an instinct, but it's more than an instinct. It's a collective consciousness about something that is big. And of course, like anything, it's not just an all or one thing. It's not just that, it's some mystical force that makes us know this stuff, nor is it just a material cause and effect relationship where I can say, well, I know this because pop culture. You need to look up people like Joseph Campbell, people who are interested in
the hero's journey guy, right?
Yeah, hero's journey guy. When you look at taking the collective mythology of mankind and doing comparative studies against them and seeing where they agree. And probably the most important recent epiphany I've had in my own occult and magical practices was as I'm looking at literal like secret societies and the ancient mystery schools, trying to glean, what their connections are, and then also comparing the religions and what the symbols could possibly mean, and using people who know way more than I do about those things, that people who've forgotten more about those things than I'll probably learn in my lifetime, per se. Studying some of the things that they've had to say. And I realized that they're all basically saying the same things. The different interpretations of the same truth, right? They're all basically saying, we are one, we are the source, we are the non-dual truth. The ego is your chariot, it's your avatar. It is not meant to be taken as seriously as most of us do, but it is meant to be thoroughly enjoyed. And we got a super chat from EA motherfucking Quetting. What's up, guys? I missed you so much, man. Let's see.
He says,
yeah, read it for me.
Okay. Eric Quetting says, "What's up, my brothers? Would you please speak for a moment, whatever you're inspired to speak about, the principle of emptiness?"
Principles of emptiness.
And I do want to mention he hit
it.
us with that 666.
He hit us with the 666. And Marion Eisenberg, since that is a fem, I believe, and if not, we're going to make it one. Wifey, if you can read the chat. If you can't, I'll read it.
Sure. Mary Eisenberg sends you $5, a gift for DH to thank you for the protection sigil.
You're very welcome. That was actually a fun class, and I kind of go through these phases where it's like, what do I want to do for these classes? What do I want to do? Do I want to do ritual? Do I want to do something simple? Do I want to do something deep? And somehow, some way, we've been inspired every week, and this was a fun one. I like that one because it's, there's a lot you can learn just from doing simple stuff like preparing a protection sigil and charging it and activating it and all that. So, yeah. So, what's up, EA Quetting? It's actually going to be pretty cool because at the moment, I don't know if you know, hopefully I'm not spilling the beans, but someone you know very well is probably going to be with us on the midsummer stream that we're having next week. So, I'll let you see if you can figure out who that is. You might have to ask them. They are in your presence probably. So you can ask them who it's going to be. But we're also thinking about getting some other people on. There's actually someone who we mentioned a couple weeks ago that we sort of planned to have on. But I haven't gotten back to them because I am... What's the word you would use, Plushie, when it comes to my social capacity?
You are... introverted? Is that a word I would use?
A little bit.
Single word?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't seem like it, but I am. So I mean to get back to you, Vittorius. We will talk about your questions. I have to... spend some time stewing in them a little bit to figure out how I want to answer them. I don't know if you're going to be here tonight, but if you're catching this on the reruns. So that is my comment to you, and I will message you soon to reply to all that. Actually, Fleshy, you kind of volunteered sort of to be my backdoor. Wait, no, you kind of volunteered to be my what's that guy? My
PR dude, secretary.
I get no secretary maybe. I don't know.
Backdoor. What the fuck were you going for?
I don't know. I was writing, so my vocabulary is shot with the verbals. I can write it.
In a way, you could call him an agent.
Yeah, there you go. My backdoor agent. That's what you are. You're my backdoor agent. Back end. That's what I'm going to say. My back end guy.
Oh, okay.
That sounds so much better, doesn't it, everybody? It sounds so much better.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay, I gotcha.
I'm the front door guy, and you're the back door guy. That's how it works. You know what I mean? And just like that, my feed got cut. What happened?
Gonna just move right. You know what? Nope. Fuck it. It's the month for it. Gay Wrath Month. Let's get it out.
We'll just call it Grath. We're just gonna call it Grath Month. We're gonna make it sound like a cool Marvel supervillain.
Grath sounds like a disease.
Maybe.
So to answer EA Coetting's question, speak about whatever we want on the topic of principle of emptiness. Since you specifically said speak about what I want, the first thing that came to mind was that old George Carlin skit about how we need bigger and bigger spaces. You need a bigger garage to haul around all your shit. You don't know what the fuck is in it, but it's your shit. And it's nobody else's, and nobody can have it because that is your fucking shit. And it feels so good to purge all of that away and be free of it and just have empty space, room for so much activities. So true.
I don't want to jump the gun yet. Miss Camilla, what do you have to say about emptiness, if anything? Make it a funny thing if you don't know anything.
Emptiness. Well, emptiness is not what our house is. That's for damn sure.
No, that's not. That is not. For real, I loathe the day we have a bigger house because then we're going to want a bigger house.
There's never enough room.
We have a regular sized house worth of stuff in our small little cottage.
I love you both to death. If you ever told me that you need help moving, I would like turn off my phone for the week.
And I'd come hang out with you while it was off.
To be fair, we have a lot less than a lot of other people. It's just condensed down to 3 rooms.
Yeah. Well, you know, there is that. But we're not quite hoarders. We are clutterers. There is definitely a difference. Well, I'm not a hoarder. I actually, you could probably squeeze everything I own into a small like, you know, like a wizard van. Except for maybe like, it'd be close. It'd be like maybe 2 van trips would be more than enough for all my stuff. It's really, because I don't count the furniture, even though I probably should. I don't count the furniture as mine. Like even the stuff that's like heirlooms for my family, I could probably, even with that, probably stick it all in like 2 van trips.
It's mostly my hobbies taking up the room.
Yeah.
I have a lot of hobbies.
She's got a hubby and a hobby, and sometimes they interact.
Yeah.
But so you're actually going back to work on mirrors soon, and I will be getting to your question, Mr. Quetting. Don't worry. And we should all talk about it, not just me.
Yeah, and I am actually curious. He caught me a little bit off guard with that. I'm wondering specifically what he's thinking about.
I know what he's thinking about. He's been channeling a samurai. You know, he's been having the experience of you know, what he is experiencing is something to be like the spirit of a samurai, the soul of samurai.
Well, you know, emptiness goes beyond just the physical. You know, I mean, you got the empty mind, clearing your mind, and all that.
Sure.
Nah, that's just a garage, but made in meat. You gotta
Mr. Quetting, my good
shit.
friend, you really need to look up Musashi and his 21 rules or 21 lessons or 21 points or whatever it is for life. I forget what the exact name in Japanese is, but look up his 21 points. If you haven't already, I'm planning on doing some videos on just that actually at some point, because it's actually a very powerful approach to a lot of things in life. If you truly understand yourself as divinity, his 21 rules make even more sense, really. All right, so emptiness. And
really quick,
there's a lot of talk in Zen and Japanese folklore about emptiness, and there's a lot of misconceptions about it. The nature of emptiness is that when it is achieved, it is instantly filled. The more emptiness there is, the more filled it becomes. The more you let go of the things which cloud, the more it is filled with what really is. We seek emptiness in our meditations and in our practices, not because we are meant to be a stone that has no thought or a stone that has no experience, but rather we are here to cleanse and clean. Not here to, that's not a purpose, but the practice of emptiness is to make room for reality to actually come through. This is like the riddle of steel understanding of emptiness. The riddle of steel, if we're going to play with that for a moment, the riddle of steel goes, you know, you talk about iron and steel and how strong it is and what could be stronger than steel and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, you have eventually you have Thulsa Doom saying it's the hand that's stronger and the blah, blah, blah. Well, the ultimate thing that is stronger than even the hand is the will. It is not just the will that you have, not the will of ego. It is the one divine will, which we are all participating in. So, let's see. Yeah, Eric says, wow, thank you for your vantages on emptiness, but there really aren't many words you can really put to the idea. No, of course not. And that's sort of the point. The more you go looking for emptiness, the more you're never going to find it. Emptiness happens when you stop looking.
Yeah, it's like a fool's errand.
Yeah, it's kind of a fool's errand. That's the beauty of the Japanese Zen schools, is they teach by treating you like an idiot and making you go looking for the answer in the most obvious place, like you're a fool, and by making you go the wrong direction, basically. They'll have you sit in front of a wall and look for yourself. And it's quite entertaining because the one who's doing the looking is it. So emptiness is what you really are. Now, when we say emptiness, we don't mean that there is an absence of, you know, well, there is. It's an indefinable thing, but there is no absence. There is emptiness. You know, The emptiness is the awareness itself. You know, when they say what, go looking for your emptiness, go looking for your awareness. It's the same statement. You know, the true nature of yourself is not the echo, and it's not the walls that the echo bounces off of. It is that which the echo takes place in. It is all of that. That is the emptiness. Emptiness is absolutely bigger than somethingness. There's no question. Emptiness is what contains something. Exactly, Timothy. Emptiness is not necessarily empty as we think of it either. Emptiness is a misnomer, but it's an important one. If you understand it as emptiness and you go trying to find it, you're just going to find fullness. It's inevitable, you know. And this is actually really the secret. Is this? Your awareness must have something to be aware of. Your awareness is that emptiness. So what is that emptiness aware of?
The silence.
The silence, yeah. Absolutely. I'm reading comments, so in case I seem like I suddenly just got like hypnotized.
I'm going to call a little bit of bullshit on that dude that you recommended. What's his name? Miyamoto Miyamoto Masashi?
Go get my katana. Go get it. He needs to be cut down.
Overall, pretty good. I like it. Then you get to rule number 13. Do not pursue the taste of good food. Fuck you. Fuck you, mustache.
Miyamoto Mustachio.
There is a time to eat to live, but you should strive to live to eat.
And Timothy's dropping Zen bombs over here. He's saying exactly, silence is the gate. The gateless gate, guys. It is the gateless gate. Yes. Emptiness happens when you stop looking. Exactly. Exactly, EA. Exactly. Emptiness happens when you stop looking. Exactly.
You agreed with him. He was quoting you.
Well, I think that's why he was quoting me, because he agreed with me. We are one in this moment. We are one. Like this. Like, we're docking. We're spiritually docking. I really want my katana now. Do I have to go get it? I feel like I have to go get it.
You two have.
You know I like to be armed on live. You know I like to be armed while I'm doing live streams. You know that.
I'm surprised you don't have one right there with you right now. You got one of everything over there.
I do. I have so much stuff open over here. Jakas says, "Have you stopped looking for emptiness?" Yes. Yeah, the gateless gate is actually a Zen saying. It's recognizing that you're on both sides of the gate already. That's what it really points to. When you realize that the gate has no door, you're already on both sides of it. If you cross over the gate, you find out the other side is exactly the same as the side you're on. I actually had this thing, and I may do it someday. I wanted to draw like a comic strip, like a short one, of a pair of monks, and I've probably told this story before, sitting in front of what they see as this tremendous doorway, kind of like the doorway from Full Metal Alchemist, like this big imposing doorway. And you know, when they go into that quasi interdimensional state that they go into once in a while, this big imposing doorway, and you see them meditating there, and you get the impression they've been meditating for a really long time. And then they both sort of have an epiphany at the same time, and they look at each other and they look up, and the gate begins to open. And it begins to slide open, and it comes apart. And the one monk is really excited, and he jumps to his feet, and the other one doesn't. Takes him a minute. He kind of slowly gets up. The other one jumps to his foot, and he runs to the gate, and he runs through the gate with excitement, you know. And he looks over, and his friend isn't there. He didn't follow him through the gate. And when he looks across, he looks at the other monk, who looks a lot like himself. And he kind of stares at his companion, and his companion's afraid to cross. And then I was going to have the camera, quote unquote, because it is a comic, so there's no camera. I was going to have the view pan out and pan back. And you'd see that the wall that had the gate was only a few feet across. They could have easily gone to the other side anytime. There was no barrier. And the other one still doesn't want to cross. It was deep to me at the time when I came up with it, but the idea was that there are those who are willing to abandon what they have, to go seek what they think they don't. And when they get to the other side, they realize they didn't gain anything. It's the same thing. It's the same on both sides of the gate. And then when they truly wake up to what's going on, the gate's an illusion anyway. The whole thing's an illusion. There is no separation between them, between anything. The gate is ignorance, is basically what it really is. That's what it boils down to. The same thing is the meaning of the Oroboros, the same thing. That's why the Oroboros is the new symbol for my work. The Oroboros with the all-seeing eye within it. That's actually why I'm using that. I've discovered some things that are pretty interesting, so hopefully that makes sense. But
Is that
yeah.
Oroboros? I've always heard it Oroboros.
You can say it like that. The Oroboros, the Oroboros, the world serpent, the whatever you want to call it. There's a million different ways to describe it. The dragon, if you look in antiquity, you are going to see that the Marduk, Bel, Zeus, Jupiter, Thor character always has to do battle with a great serpent. The only exception would be when it's personified as Cronus or Saturn. Cronus and Saturn exemplify separation and hardness and boundaries. That is, the ignorance. That is, you think that things are separated, that there are walls and boundaries, but there is not. But if you look, going back to antiquity, Marduk had to slay a Tiamat and all of this, and there's just so much going on with the symbolism that I couldn't really explain it, and I'm not ever going to. It's not really necessary. The symbolism is interesting, but it is not. It's not necessary to justify every prior myth to make sense of this. But just know that every king of the gods is the story of a person, a living person, who has transcended mortal ignorance and recognizes their divinity, and in so doing becomes immortal, becomes the immortal king, becomes the one true god, the blah 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 of their pantheon, and so on. That's kind of what it always means. I like that Jacques has said, Oroboros, when you keep having urinary tract infections.
And I forgot earlier we had a super chat from Cult of the Sun, says, "Hail Lucifer and hail thyself. Good stream."
Fuck yeah.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, brother. Let's see. Someone had said something. Where'd it go? Ajna said, there is no Holy Mountain. Watch that fucking movie, guys. Watch the Holy Mountain.
I keep
if
saying
you can.
we need to.
Yeah, I don't know if I could watch that again right away. Here's the thing. That movie is... The symbolism is so thick that even if you know a lot of it, you go, wait, what? What's he saying here? Because it's expressed in really esoteric ways in a lot of ways, and like there's one scene that I don't get because I think it's more of a cultural scene where he's got a bunch of toads fighting over Mexico basically, which to me is like I don't quite get the symbolism of that one, but there probably is one that I don't get. But I really got a kick out of he uses the Enneagram, which is the 9 personalities or whatever, the 9 9 psychological
I know
things.
what you're talking about.
He uses that almost like a
personality types or something.
Yeah, and he overlays, mythological planetary symbols with it too. So, like he's got Jupiter on there and all this stuff. It's really interesting. He does really cool work. Like I said, I wouldn't want to live in the movie. Like watching it once is enough, but you do have to watch it.
Do you think that some of that shit, like the toads fighting over Mexico and shit, is just like, okay, guys, you know what would be really funny? We made it really, really deep.
It's blunt.
Let's just throw some weird shit in there, dude. They're gonna think it's deep, and it's really just
it's
bullshit.
Blunt. They're gonna think this is so deep. Oh shit! Yeah. Totally. No. If I remember correctly, I don't remember if it was Holy Mountain or one of the other ones, but he insisted that all of the actors be on psychedelics for half the movie, if not the whole day.
Oh fuck yeah, dude!
I don't remember if it was Holy Mountain or the ones before that. But
dude, they didn't even realize cameras were there halfway through.
Kinda. I don't know if they were on it while they were filming, but they were definitely taking it during like the process of filming, for sure.
That's like perfect method acting. That's not even acting. That's just fighting for survival. It's with some director with a whip and LSD. You will climb.
Yeah, Jackass. There's a scene where some toads and some lizards are fighting over. I don't remember what city or whatever, but it's meant to be like one like the I don't know.
Baja Blast.
Yeah, they're fighting over Baja Blast, which is actually kind of funny you say that because they all blow up. Like, he literally kills hundreds of toads and lizards to make this, like, literally blows them up, like, not even joking. Yeah.
Oh wait, like actually exploded some animals.
Yes, like literally, like, this was in a country where they don't care about animals, so he's like, yeah, just blow them all up for film. Just go ahead. Just put a stick of dynamite in there and just boosh, they're all dead. So.
Fucking hell.
So
well, way to bring
tonight's
it
gonna
down.
be, yeah, tonight's gonna be a people stream as always. I like the people stream concept. I like responding to questions and comments. So keep them coming, guys. If you guys got more questions and comments.
Yeah.
But I feel like, you know, here's the thing. Like, I want to keep talking about emptiness, but here's the problem with that. The more you talk about it, the less it's there. So we're just gonna let the silence be pregnant. With,
I actually saw a question at the very beginning that I'd like to address from, I believe it was Crackbite, of how we met.
Oh, how you and I met?
Yeah.
People probably wonder because I'm like this fat, like, freaking, like, toe jam looking motherfucker, and you're like this gorgeous, beautiful, weren't, but I was for a while.
Fine. I love you.
I feel like I'm gonna get, like, scissor kicked in a minute.
Maybe.
Whoa, that was hot. How did we meet? Wow.
I love a woman
I don't remember.
that can
How
kick
did
my
we
ass.
meet?
You don't remember the website we met
Of
on?
course. That's probably something you can talk about. Go ahead. Tell us about how we met.
We met on
Sorry.
I'm hearing myself now. I'm
Well, you're
talking
talking
too
too
loud.
loud.
Yeah. We met on gothicpersonals.com, actually.
I thought it was Vampire Personals.
No.
When you
No,
guys
it's
told
Gothic
me
Personals.
that,
Oh, that was that other chick.
Yeah, the psycho one you were with before me.
Ooh. New. I don't remember how I met her.
when you
Probably
guys
was.
told me that, by the way, for the first time, it was just like, yeah, I'm not surprised at all. That seems exactly like how you guys would meet.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, the woman over there and I are actually in the same room. Like, she's just across the way.
Not even 10 feet away.
Yeah. So if there's an echo, I can't really do anything about that without short of, like, killing one of us and just kind of puppeting them.
Changing physics.
Yeah. It's not really, you know, magic is cool, but it still works along rational lines. Just so you know. So yeah. There's a reverb when the lady speaks.
That lady is Camilla.
Yeah, you know, let me see if maybe if I just adjust where, oh, you know what's not making it better is I don't even have, I bet you I was really quiet and no one had the balls to say anything.
I heard you just fine.
Well, now you guys can hear me even better, and maybe if it's over here,
Oh, now
It
you're
will-
really, really loud.
now I'm really loud. I will talk much more softly. I shall talk like I am. Yeah, Vampire Freaks. I remember Vampire Freaks. That's kind of what I was thinking of. Vampire Freaks, yeah. I was a long time ago. I don't know. I don't even know if they're still there. Are they still there? Vampire Freaks?
I don't know, but
Look it
Gothic
up.
Personals was there for a while.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
curious
Vampire
not
Freaks,
long ago.
I think Vampire Freaks was where I found Gothic Personals. I think that's where it was, actually. That's why I
Might
got
have
the vampire thing. Yeah.
I see a Vampire Freaks clothing line.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
They did the clothing line too.
That is technically them. Yes, it is. So, all right.
Huh. Okay.
So, yeah. So that is something that, I don't know if their website's still worth a damn. It used to be pretty cool to go to that website, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, hey Thorne, with this new microphone setup, you're gonna be doing the non-dual ASMR stream.
It's it's the same microphone setup, but I have it like in my. Let me deep throat it.
And if any of you have a question, go ahead and tag Yepsen at YEPSEN. Makes it easier for me to catch it and get it to these fine people.
Wyatt said something pretty clever. He says, the site we met on, Egotistics Anonymous. That is so great. Like, an egotistical person would never be on an anonymous board. I love it. That's so great. That's
I'm gonna be honest, I read that and it went over my head.
I don't know if he meant it like that, but that's how it came out in my brain. Yeah. So everyone's saying the reverb might be gone since I repositioned the microphone, so that could be better. Why is Fleshy always asynchronous? I assume you mean his mouth and his sound, probably because he's going through 2 or 3 different layers of, like, rebounding through the system before he gets, like broadcasts. He's got his own sound setup that he's got adjusted, but then we've got the sound and the video that I've got to basically record and send out as part of my streaming software.
Yeah,
so
trust me, it's perfect on my end, and it drives me nuts too.
yeah, and it actually is right on my like say something, Plushie.
Hello.
Oh, you're way off. Well, you know what it is? I can't monitor the audio on OBS, at least I don't know how, while I'm doing your audio and this and blah, blah, blah. It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah,
so it could be a little off.
One of these days, I'll have to figure it out, but it's just such a big pain in the ass, we never want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
you know what we could do? You and I could do a private stream or something, like an unlisted stream, and you could listen to the stream with me, and you could clap, and then we wait till it comes through the stream, and then like we adjust it together, like we figure it out that way. That could be what we have to do.
Maybe, but the people don't want to hear about our bullshit tech issues, even though it is a whole bunch of bullshit. The people want...
Well, you know, there's a lot of people who watch shows like this, especially since we're so open about everything, that probably are a little interested. I'm not saying like they want the whole show to be about it, because that's like, I've watched some of those streams, but where people are just like, no, we're not interested in that. But some people might be, because I've got lots of questions. How do you do live streams? How do you do this? How do you do that? And, you know, it's a little bit of behind the scenes. People like that.
Yeah, a little bit, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just different. I don't like hearing too much about the rambling about tech issues.
Yeah,
unless it's really interesting.
Well, we're basically doing magical tech conversations, so it's just a different kind of tech. No, that's not true. I don't actually think magic is not a technology. You know what? I'm going to be a dick, right? I'm considering myself very unorthodox compared to many of the magicians I see in the world, at least the public ones. Not all, but many. And magic is not a science or a technology. It is not at all. That does not mean that there isn't a science or technology that can be involved. Just like with music, there is a science and technology to a lot of parts of music, but at its core, music is not a science or a technology. It is an art form, and there is a distinction to be made there. And the difference is that an art form is there to do something with your awareness. When you listen to music, it doesn't cause feelings or emotions. It makes you aware of feelings or emotions that maybe you're not really paying attention to, or that you are, but they intensify because it shifts your awareness of them. So like when you hear a sad song, it doesn't make you sad. You become aware of the sadness that is already there, and it's like a magnifying glass. When you watch or when you look at a beautiful picture or painting, it does not cause you to experience beauty. Rather, it makes you aware of beauty. It makes beauty an awareness that you have. So magic is an art form, guys. It is different from a science and technology. Science is a digitization, a study, shall we say, of the bumping parts and how they interact. Well, magic is not something that you can study in that way. You can study magic just like you can study music, but just like music is not a science, but there is a science that you can apply to music. There's no science going on when a little kid is singing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star."
Yeah, like you can't science a song to like, if
Correct.
I add the A minor chord to the G major chord and I stretch it over 8 bars, this will give me the chemical formula for a pop sensation.
Yes.
There's techniques you could apply, but yeah, it's not just A plus B
Yes.
equals C.
So what is magic making you aware of is the point I'm trying to get at. If music makes you aware of this, do you guys know that the art of magic, which it is an art, it is not a science or a technology. I will go to my grave with that statement. I don't care if you shoot me in the head. It is not a science nor a technology. It is an art form. So if all art forms are a way to communicate and shift the awareness of the people consuming it, we'll say, to become aware of something, what is magic? What is its medium is actually identical to drama. Let me put that question out. Let me go back. the question is, if all these other things are making you aware of something like beauty or emotion or whatever, what is magic making you aware of? So hold that in the back of your mind while I talk a little bit. When you go back in antiquity to the origins of the kinds of things we call magic today, the magic we talk about today, predominantly the Western magic we're talking about. The Western magic we're talking about today is actually, I'm not going to say exactly the same as, but if you look up Tantra, it's the same thing. It's basically the same thing, and they have the same origin, okay? These are ways of theurgy. Even the low magic that is there to give you thaumaturgical experiences, they're not there they're really as a part of thaumaturgy, okay? I mean theurgy, excuse me. They're really as part of theurgy, which is the apotheosis, the search for henosis, the search of the dissolution of agnosis. It is to become God. It is, and that's a misnomer too. It's a misunderstanding of the concept. It is a way to become aware of magic. Okay, now, magic as an art form is most closely related to, of all the art forms, which is a compound art form to be clear, the art form of drama or theater. And the interesting thing is if you look at the origins of magic as we understand it, they come from the mystery schools. Most of it comes from the mystery schools in some form. Okay, and the mystery schools can trace themselves back to Samaria, off and on in different ways. And the mystery schools, their objective wasn't the stuff we often think of, like when we think of magic. When people today come to people like me, they're seeking works and outcomes and results. That's not magic. And I'm very quick to tell, this is why I'm very selective. I'm very quick to tell you when you hire me for magic, you're not hiring me for results. I know that there's people who will criticize that. How dare you take money if it's not for results? Do you, Plushie, do you have a problem spending money? Well, maybe you do. But does the average person have a problem spending money to go to a movie? No.
No.
Of course not. They're paying for what?
The experience.
The experience of something.
You're paying for the experience of bitching about how awful that movie was by the time you get out sometimes.
Fair. Yep, fair. So they're theater. And Eddie says it. He says religion and magic are both theater. They are. If you look at the mystery schools and what their objectives were and what they did in every culture that they existed in, they were always highly secretive. They were always the kingmakers of their culture. You would send your best and brightest and your richest to them, and they would put you through this process of initiation. And if you passed, you became Caesar. You became the god of your realm, quite literally in a lot of ways. And this process was actually done with rituals and psychedelics and things that were literally the precursor of modern theater. Look at theater, look at the history of theater, at least in the West, if not the world. Look at the history of theater in the West, and you will find its origins are actually in the mystery schools of Greece. And this was originally done not as a stage performance with an audience. That's the modern ripoff of it. The actual original way was that the audience was a participant, and it was an audience usually of one person. It was one person who was the audience, and the whole show was going on around them while they're high as a fucking kite on all kinds of entheogens and psychedelics and all kinds of shit.
Oh, that
so they're
sounds
tripping
so cool.
balls. So they're tripping balls, and then they're put through the stage play of creation of here is chaos, and here is Nyx and Erebus, and here's their children, and here is all this, and then come the gods, and now you are Zeus, and blah, blah, blah. And that is the play. And as they're going through this, tripping balls, and don't even know that they have balls anymore because their ego has been dissolved in the process of this chemical compound, like ayahuasca or something. Their ego has been not destroyed, not removed, just dissolved, set to the side, put in front of you, and you say, okay, that's still that, but it's not what I am anymore. I'm the whole fucking thing. And this whole process, when successfully done, you don't come back from that and say that you're a human being anymore. You don't come back from that and think that you're immortal. You've died. You've literally died and been reborn, which is why in almost every one of these religions and mystery cults, there's death and rebirth. This is why Jesus had to die and be reborn. This is why all of these characters die and reborn in all of those deep mythologies. It is not hidden. It's right in your face. And so this is what magic really is. So there's a component of magic that I call maybe works magic or results-oriented magic, and that is the child's play. That is the bullshit side of magic. And I say it's bullshit, not because you can't experience crazy shit. Magic is a holistic art form. That means it's meant to include an internal perspective, an external activity. It's meant to be mind, body, and spirit aligned together at the same time to experience the 3 O's: omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence. At least a teeny piece of it. So how can you become convinced you are God just by hearing about it? You can't. And this is actually big pieces of my current book, but I go much more into detail with it. When I'm trying to convince you that you're God, I can hold you in front of me for days and go, you're God because I say so, and this is all the reasons, and I can spell out all the facts and logic that you could use to outline that. All I'm doing is pointing at it. I can't make you know it. Plushie, if I told you every detail about my hometown, would you say that you know my hometown or just know what I've told you?
I'd say I know it. I'd know it very well, but I don't know it.
But you don't know it. So even if I
There's
so the only way to know my town
and walking the street.
So the only way to know my town is to get you to come to my town and to be in my town and to have the experience I've had. That's the only way. Well, the same thing applies here. This is why the mystery schools did what they did. They realized, they knew, we're talking going back past Egypt to Samaria, past probably Samaria, all the way back, maybe even before Atlantis, assuming Atlantis, whatever that was, existed. You are the God. You are that thou art. Tat Vamasi is true. And they've always known this, at least for a very long time. It's the oldest secret that there is. And so what is works-related magic? Because just hearing that you're God, and even doing rituals that tell you you're God, and doing psychedelics, that's actually pretty good. But what about when the psychedelics are over? What about when the ritual is over? What about when the stage play is over?
I feel like most people suddenly come down and oh, that was fun being God for a while. Time to go back to being Jim.
Yeah, well, you do. That's why I did that Godhood for Dummies video, because what would God do? He would become Bob in accounting again, because why not? That's part of the fun, is the cycle. That's part of the fun. It's not a curse. You're not trapped. This is not, a lot of people come to me, or not come to me, but I see everywhere in the internet going, oh, I'm so trapped. I need to find a way out. I need to be enlightened. I need to become God, blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's the fun you're having. That's your game right now. That was my game for most of my life. I get it now. I don't have that. I'm not saying I never have a day where I go, fuck my life. But that's not my mood. That's not. You can ask my wife. I don't really do that except for as a joke. It's like a morbid joke. I don't actually really think that way. So what does magic mean? The work side of magic, what is that? It's acausal for one thing. Don't you ever treat magic like a science and a technology in which there is cause and effect between your silly little rituals and spells and something that happens. There is absolutely no rational way that any of these things that I do here or in my other temple or wherever cause the universe to give me what I want. That is absolutely boneheaded stupid. That is not what's happening. Magic works via something called synchronicity. You are literally invoking you're literally priming yourself to experience synchronicity when you're doing magic ritual. That's what you're doing. The synchronicity, you're basically saying, okay, I'm going to do this stuff, and with the understanding that something will happen, and lo and behold, something like it will. And in that moment where the two experiences collide and you go, I did a ritual and then I got money, or I did a ritual and then, somebody showed up at my house that I was longing to see, and that's what I did the ritual for. You can't help but ask yourself, how did that happen? And the beginner's mind seeks power because they don't know they're gods yet. Listen to what I'm saying. This is really important. This is really important. The beginner's mind doesn't know they're God yet, and so they seek godlike power. And they seek it externally. They seek it in the world and say, I'll know I'm God when I can go like this and my table will slide across the room. That's how I'll know I'm God, because that's what God should be able to do. Totally forgetting that they're already that God, because they don't know it.
Or even if they've heard it, they've never had the experience of it. They don't know it. They don't realize that they're already doing everything that is done. Everything. Everything is them. So this idea that when you awaken to become God, you can bend or break the laws of physics. Motherfucker, you are the laws of physics. You are them. This whole idea of, God means to have free will. What are you supposed to have your will free of if you are God? What is it that you're supposed to be free from? It's beyond freedom. It transcends the idea of free will. It means your will is already done. It means your will is already done. Do as thou wilt. It wasn't just flowery speech. It wasn't a way to say do what you want. We would have said do what you want. He would have said do what you want if he meant do what you want.
In a non-dual sense, he is the we.
He meant do as thou wilt. And who is the you that he's talking about? The whole purpose of these systems is to become aware of your divine true nature. To become aware that you are the one true, most high above the throne God. That is what you already are. Which is also, by the way, the most blasphemous thing you can say to pretty much any right-hand religion. It is the most arrogant sounding, the most prideful sounding. It's the thing that Lucifer gets cast out of heaven for. Which is why Lucifer is a great patron if you're seeking to know thyself. You guys, is it starting to fit a little bit? I hope. It's fitting for me. Is it starting to fit a little bit? I hope. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I need to do more. This whole thing that I'm talking about, why do you think, let me ask you this. In your magical travels online, do you see a propensity for most people to say you manifest things with magic? You don't, how many people say you cause things? Very few. It's like when you first come into because I can tell you from my own experience, because I wasn't in a magical community growing up, I had no idea about half these terms and what people were saying, and I just kind of did what I thought was magic, and I tried to cause things to happen, and sometimes, and my lower, stupid little level 1 self that felt so powerful, felt like it was causing all this stuff to happen, but then it would fail, and the illusion of power was cast out, and I was like, fuck, I don't really have power, but then I saw all this stuff happen with my fucking, I know I did that, but why can't I do it now? What God have I offended? And all this stupid, systematically superstitious mumbo jumbo that most people in the occult community are guilty of was flowing through my head. I must be an inferior weakling. I can't do it. And so I threw it away because it was also hurting me. I was having these other problems with it. So I come back into the magical community. And what do I see? I see a bunch of people talking about things. And what do they say? What do they say? They don't say that I do magic and it caused something to happen. Most people wouldn't say that. It's like they intuitively know, or maybe it's just some peer pressure, it's just a colloquialism. They don't say I caused anything to happen with my magic. Everyone says my magic manifested something I wanted. What is the meaning of the word manifest? Look it up.
I'm going to look it up right now. You did bring it up, but I wonder how much of that is, you don't hear people say that they manifest things in day-to-day life. I wonder if part
Correct.
of that is the reason why you hear it so much in magical communities.
It sounds more mystical, right?
Yeah. I would definitely say that's part of it. It sounds a lot cooler. Not putting any disrespect on that at all. Sounds cool, then do it.
So you're not wrong. That's actually completely right, is that most people don't know why they say manifest. They think it sounds cool. So what does manifest mean? If we look it up, it basically means
clearly
to make
apparent to the sight or understanding.
Mm-hmm. Right. To make apparent to the sight. Not even to make. It is apparent to the sight. Or whatever. It becomes apparent to you. That's what manifestation means. So why are we so hung up on the word manifestation? Have you ever heard somebody say manifest your divine will? The noob comes to this and says, oh, that means that I need to make my divine will happen because I'm God and that will is what I want. And so what I want, I got to make that happen. I'm manifesting God's will. You fucking beginner. I love you. I love you. I'm yelling at myself, by the way. When I yell, you fucking beginner. I'm yelling. I want you to know, like, if you feel like a venom, I'm actually talking to me as a 12-year-old.
Yeah,
that's who I'm talking.
I can actually feel it. I can feel either one of your hands on, like, your 12-year-old head just shaking. Just, why are you like this?
Yes. Manifest your divine will. It doesn't just mean become thoughtfully, mindfully conscious of it. It means to witness it around you. Your divine will, your God's will is already in motion. The whole world is your divine will already. That means, yes, you got cancer, you did it. Yes. Yes, that means you got married and she cheated on you, you did it.
I like what GR says here. Meaning makes it synonymous with demonstrate.
It's very similar, yes, very similar. Yeah, I don't know, Ogie, why we're stuck on left-hand, right-hand path. The thing is, you probably have, depending upon your definition of the two terms, it is nonsense. But if you understand the definition a little differently, it makes total sense. So I'm not going to get to a whole rigmarole about the differences are, but instead of calling it nonsense, try to imagine why there might be a rational reason to say that there's a left hand and right hand and why one might be inferior or superior or vice versa. The truth is both hands lead to the same gnosis. That is absolutely true, and that part of it is the nonsense. To say that one is somehow the better or the only way is foolish. The right-hand path is one of submission to external divinity. Left hand is to either become or realize your own divinity within yourself already. The reason why they're different is right hand tends to be submissive, moralistic, and submitting to other things to conform to that divinity. The left hand has no taboos and says, I'm already that divinity. In truth, they both lead to the same thing. They both lead to absolutely the same thing. But there is absolutely only one path you can be on at a time.
Right-hand path is like being one of the Wonder Kids, who your only usefulness is summoning Captain Planet. Whereas the left-hand path is being the red motherfucking lion, and you are a piece of Voltron. Yes,
yes, yes, yes. I like that. You are a piece of Voltron versus you can only summon the motherfucker. Yes, abso-fucking-lutely. Beautifully said. I love that. That is glorious. So it's not better or worse, but I tell you which one I prefer. And I'm going to tell you guys, anybody who says, oh, I'm neither one, you're left. That's left hand. Just repeat after me. Okay, don't repeat it. Let me restate that.
I'm a gray Jedi. I follow neither the Sith nor the Jedi.
So that's left hand. You know. The Sith are actually right hand evil. If you want to put, they're lawful evil. They may not seem like it, but they are. They're right hand.
Mm-hmm.
So left hand is complete and utter liberation from taboo. Yes, that means even the things you can't say that you're okay with. It doesn't mean that you are okay with them in an ethical sense. It just means that you're not attached to the morality of the issue. You're rather aware of the personal preference of the issue. You can have a personal preference. Like, I don't like murder. I have a preference against murder. It doesn't mean I think it's immoral.
That's a good quality for a person to have.
Yeah, I mean, I think so, right? Or do I just have a preference for seeming like I don't, like I'm not having a preference for murder? I mean, how do we know? How do we know? So you cannot say that you are middle hand or middle. I'm middle path. I'm neither black nor white. I am middle.
Motherfucker, show me your middle hand. I see a left and I see a right.
Yeah, yeah. You can't straddle them. You flicker between them, I'm sure. Some people do. I've encountered people who you ask them a question about one thing in their left hand, ask them a question about it again another way in their right hand all of a sudden. That's absolutely true, but that doesn't make them middle path. That makes them schizophrenic. That means they don't actually have a rational perspective. They're literally just, they're aimless in their soul seeking. Aimless. Yeah.
So, everybody who is tagging me with questions right now, just so you know, I do see them and I have jotted them down. I'm waiting for the end of the topic to start bringing in the questions.
So we were going to talk about the pop culture stuff or whatever, and I guess that kind of got flushed, which is fine because I think we're talking about more interesting things, and but
are we
for sure.
Were we talking about?
But I will say, I will say something. People talk about like shadow people and stuff like that. And that's one of my big things. That's one of the things that I cut my teeth on. It's one of the things that I know the most about. Let me tell you something. Your divinity is a shadow too. Your divinity is a shadow. That is ultimately the truth. Because most of you, and myself included, by the way, I talk a big game about being divine and a God, but if I was ready to be that God full time, I would not be here. In this limited perspective, I would just, the body'd still be running around doing its thing, but I would be and aware of the whole universe right now doing God stuff. I'm not doing that. I am aware of the whole universe doing God stuff, but I'm forgetting it. I'm limiting my attention to just this right now. It's kind of like I often say, imagine as a metaphor, God is your vision. It's everything you can see, and you are like a pinhole in a piece of paper. You're just that little tiny little perspective hole that you're looking through. That's what you are. That's what you think you are. You think you're the pinhole. But you're actually God that can potentially see anything it wants. You're just right now chosen to be a limited little tiny little glimpse of your totality. And in a way you still see the totality, but you see it from a limited perspective. You see it from here instead of everywhere. That's what it is. Because if you really think about it, everything that is still is a part of you. You know, the sun is a part of you just by virtue of it being there and its gravity affecting your life, if nothing else. It's all relative and relevant to you. You may not be aware of it, like you can't see it because it's nighttime, but you know it's there. So your shadow, ultimately, your shadow is also a fear of your divinity. And a lot of people go, I can't wait to be God. No, that's not true. Your ego really wants to be God because your ego knows intuitively that it is nothing. It has no power. Right, your ego wants that power. Your ego will never have that power. It can't. Let's put it this way. And people say, I'm not in any way saying that your ego is bad. Your ego is a beautiful part of what you are. It is in no way a trap. But the ego is like a creature that thinks it did the yard work, but it's actually just the glove. If you're wearing a glove, can the glove take credit for making your garden? Even though you did all the work wearing it? No. You wouldn't give credit to your glove. You'd be grateful to your glove, but you wouldn't give credit to your glove. The glove didn't plant everything. The glove facilitated some of it, for sure. It's an avatar for your hand, and your hand's an avatar for your will, and you're an avatar for God. So don't give too much credit to the avatar.
I like that example of the glove. That's well done.
It's a mask. It's a glove. Yeah.
So you know what? On the topic of shadows, we actually, where is this? Jacques was asking earlier if we could talk about the shadow aspects, individual shadows versus the collective.
Yeah, give me a second. I was reading a comment. It was about stuff about, don't overthink the analogy of the fork in the road, OG, but I will say that from the perspective of the traveler, all roads are straight because you're always going where you go. The road winds, but you're always going in a straight line. You're always going forward. Doesn't matter if you're making a left or a right, you're still going forward. So that is probably where a lot of people get the misconception that, you've got to somehow plow through. Like, that's silly. That's the ego talking. I can plow through the left and right paradigm, and I'm plowing through it. Okay. That sounds left hand again to me, honestly. Left hand is the one that would say, let me cut a new path through the woods. That's left hand again. That's still left hand. If you understand the point of left hand, that's what it is. So, okay. All right, let's see. CM Helnicayan says, I'm never going to let this down. How the hell are Sith not left hand? The Sith code, have I been deceived? Yes, you have. Yes, you have. This is actually the lie of the right hand, is to see the left hand as merely the opposite of what they believe, which is not the left hand. The left hand is not the opposite of the right hand, although it is in the opposite direction. It is not... a foolish person thinks that the difference between the left and the right hand is the difference between an upside down cross and a right side up cross. That's absurd. That's stupid. So many people eject from right hand path life, is somehow like means that you have to go do all the bad stuff now. Like, oh, I'm not a Christian anymore. That means I'm supposed to go fornicate and do all this other stuff. Otherwise, I'm not really a Satanist or something. Like, oh man, all right, whatever.
You should do that, but it's because it's groovy, not because it's anti-right hand.
Yeah, like don't be just contrarian. That's silly. Yeah. So, all right, let's get to that question again that you just had that I skipped because I was still reading. Let me not look. Let me not look. Do not engage. It's Mercury in retrograde. Let us not engage in discussions and arguments. Yesterday I have a problem with my throat chakra. Even when I'm not talking, if I'm arguing, even through typing, even if it's a friendly argument, by the way. When I say argue, I don't necessarily mean negative. If I'm having like an argument with somebody, even if it was really friendly, my throat chakra like tightens up and I just like get a headache after a while and I just feel like shit. And yesterday was like the day of argumentative nonsense. It was my fault. Like I manifest the whole fucking thing because I set out to argue with people. Like I put posts up that were argumentative and when somebody questioned what I had to say, I'd spend hours answering them and being pedantic and everything. So it's my own damn fault. But that's a Mercury in retrograde thing for me. Like that's one of my bad habits. And it's only bad because I'm not listening to something inside myself. Like Mercury in retrograde is not a bad. What's that?
I came home to a very frazzled husband.
Yeah, because it's just like, oh my God, all day. Like all day I wanted to write my book, not try to explain to people what I'm saying. Oy. So, yeah. Yeah, Mr. Zombie says debating. I still call it arguing because arguing is still, like debating is, you know why I don't call it debating, Mr. Zombie? Because debate is actually a formalized practice, whereas arguing tends to be a social behavior. Debating is something that when it's done correctly is never negative. Like I've never had, in an actual debate, it's never negative because I am not under attack. My beliefs are not under attack. It is literally just two people talking and comparing, and they're doing it in a formalized way where the objective is not to convince the other side at all. Like people mistake debate for argument. Debate is not with the intention to change the other debater's mind. That is never the point of a debate. If you're debating that way, that's not debate. That's actually counter to the spirit of debate. Anybody who's taken a debating class will tell you the point of the debate is not to convince the other side what you think. The point of the debate is for the audience, so that they can have two expert opinions and weigh all of the details, and then that third party is the one you're trying to convince of something. This can lead to sophistry when you know what your audience wants to hear, so you got to be careful. But the purpose of debate is not for you and the other person. It is for everybody else. So when someone says, I want to debate you, Thorne, if there's not an audience, and if it's about making me wrong, I'm not going to debate you. That's why I openly say I don't do debates. I really don't. I'm not here for debates. If I'm here for a debate, it's going to be an open invitation debate where I know it's a debate and it's going to have a moderator and it's going to have an audience and it's going to be fair and it's not going to be about bringing anybody down or changing anybody's mind. It is literally, this is what I believe, this is what you believe, and then the audience decides. It's not about Thorne, you're wrong, or Flesh, you're wrong. It's going to be, here's what I know, here's what you know, and this is how we get to the bottom of it. That's all it is. Argument, on the other hand, is when you're trying to convince somebody of something. That's what I consider, maybe that's not what the textbook definition is, but that's how I differentiate. To me, if I'm arguing with people, that has the potential to be much more toxic because I'm trying to assert an opinion into the world somehow. which is not a healthy behavior, by the way. I don't recommend it. But there are times when the issue at hand is serious enough that you really want to. But when it's over something stupid, and you know it's something stupid, it's always toxic. So I try not to do it for that reason. I really do. Yeah, Lorraine says learning to argue both sides is part of the art. Absolutely, absolutely. So, Fleshy's gone now. Yeah. I don't know. I feel hot, like I need a drink. Would you get up and show us your beautiful, sexy curves and get me a drink? I'm kidding. I'll do it. This is debate Bob Larson, the real exorcist. Oh man. You know, I don't think that would be too fair of a debate because he has supposedly done a whole bunch of them and I've only done 2. And when I did them, I realized exorcism was bullshit. Jackass, what was your question? Are you talking about the one that Fleshy had? I didn't hear it too good, so I need him to come back and repeat it. Is that the one with the shadow stuff? I will totally answer your question once that question has been repeated to me. Maybe wife person knows it.
Yeah, let me pull it up. I got it right here.
Turn the air conditioner.
Yeah, here it is. Could you talk about the shadow aspects, individual shadow versus collective shadow?
Okay. Yep. So, I mean, the thing about Shadownomicon is people shouldn't take it literally. And what I mean by that is what I mean by that with all magical information. Never treat it as literal. When I say don't treat it as literal, I mean there are people walking around today who really believe in the literal creation in the Bible. They really believe that the universe is 6,000 years old and no older. And they think the dinosaurs are put there by the devil to fool us, or they existed before the flood and then were all killed by the flood. That's the current iteration of the story. They have this literal, it's a complete and utter travesty of logic. It's total sophistry and circular thinking. It's completely and utterly without any foundation other than what a book says, and that book's origin is complete bullshit too. I shouldn't say complete bullshit, but very largely bullshit in origin. You know, it was designed to be a mind control device that twists actual mystical truth into a weapon to control people. Actually, Eddie and I had briefly talked with each other. I do have a soft intention to get Eddie and maybe another, like someone who's like a real good expert on history, to sit down and sort of go through Genesis, just a couple of chapters of it, and point out some things about it that might be enlightening. But we'll see about that. I don't want to give too much away about that. So don't take things too literal. And what that means is don't think that there is a literal metaphysical, well, there is. Here's where words fail, because when I say there isn't, that's not right. When I say that there is, that's not right. If I say there is no abyss, that's not true. There is an abyss. When I say that there is an abyss, that's not true, because there isn't an abyss. The abyss is not something that is literal. The abyss is not something that's merely metaphorical. But when I say the abyss, the vision that pops in your head of like infinite darkness and all this shit, that's a metaphor. That's a toy for your brain. That's a way for you to personify something. But the actual sense of the abyss, what the abyss is the space between the crests of 2 waves. That's the abyss. You don't realize that you're the whole ocean. You think you're the crest of a wave. And you look over there, and across this abyss is another crest of a wave. You don't realize that that big abyss, in the depths of that abyss, you're connected as one. You're the same abyss, and you're the crest. You're the same crest. So that's the abyss. There's an abyss of realization. And it's seemingly infinite to cross, but it's actually complete and utter delusional ignorance and separation. It's the illusion of separation. It's not real. So that's the abyss. So the shadow, be it the individual shadow or the collective shadow, exists in that abyss. And it's not just an abyss between you and somebody else, it's the abyss between you and your true self. In other words, between the ego and your divinity. And it's not really an abyss, it's an imagined separation. So shadows are the parts of us that we refuse to, what's the right word? And I know I've said things in Shadownomicon, and I don't want to counter what I said in them, but the shadows are basically parts of us, both the individual and the collective of the world, that we, for whatever reason, either hide from, don't want to know about, deny, kept stuff down. Like if someone's got an anger problem and they don't ever talk about it and they just seem happy on the outside, and then tomorrow they go and become an axe murderer and kill everybody, that's a shadow. The shadow part isn't actually the rage coming out. That's not the shadow. That's the truth. The shadow is that silent rage. That's why it's the colossal shadow. If you read Shadownomicon, colossal shadow is impotence. It's impotent rage. It's not actually carrying out. Like someone who loses their cool and goes gorilla mode and just, monkey stomps somebody, that's not the colossal shadow anymore. The colossal shadow has just come out. That's Joe Rogan. That is the colossal shadow just coming out into the light.
I hate to interrupt, but there is another question from Jekwas, kind of fleshing out what he was asking.
Oh, okay.
He says, I meant the shadow from Jungian perspective, specifically what we can learn from our shadows, the guilt-ridden, disowned aspects of us which we push down to our unconscious.
I mean, if you want the Jungian perspective, go there, because as much as I'm a fan of Jung, I've barely read Jung. I'm familiar with Jung. I like the Cliff Notes version of Jung. My Shadownomicon book is not a work of Jungian psychology at all. It is never meant to be. However, it does invoke Jungian psychology to properly assign what the shadow people are. To remove the literal superstitious perspective that they're children of Saturn or Erebus's children or Nyx's children or some other thing like that. The superstitious, personification part. I want to make you guys understand, even the word psyche. I don't know if you guys know this, but the word psyche that psychiatrists use originally meant soul in Greek. The ancient Greeks believed that the same thing that we deal with in psychology was the soul. And the soul being that collection of ideas, thoughts, feelings, emotions, etc. The psyche. Okay. So I'm not actually, I think the soul is a little bit different than that, but that is a piece of the soul. That is absolutely the shell of the soul, if you will. Okay. So I don't want to do a video about soul tonight because I'm still hammering out my own theories of soul still. I don't want to get too far into that tonight. But the shadow, when discussing the Jungian shadow, the purpose here is this. Recognizing that you have parts of yourself that you deny or that you keep hidden or that you stuff down and don't like to deal with and acknowledge. You forget or don't realize. This is the Oroboros that I talked about earlier. The shadow is a product of the Oroboros. The Oroboros gets in the way of your divine awareness, the all-seeing eye and the radiant light behind it, casting long shadows. So that ignorance causes the shadows. Shadows aren't real. They're a reification of the absence of light. Light being a metaphor in this case. I don't mean literal light. People go, Thorne, I thought you were a left-hand path evil guy and you're talking about the light. Relax. I'm not cheating on you, Satan. You're still my best buddy. Get back down there, Weeble. Get down there, Satan!
But like
recognize
like this.
Maybe I should have just gone to here because that's more accurate. No, just kidding. Totally not accurate at all. That's wishful thinking on my part. So the shadow that we're talking about is a reification, a personification of ignorance of your true nature. If you want to be very technical. The shadow is not a literal being, but it will manifest to literal being form because you egregorize it. How many people have had somebody, how many people have heard when someone's talking about someone's temper, they call it such and so's temper, right? Oh, Bill has a temper, or Bill's temper's up. Bill's, that's angry, Bill. You just egregorized the anger. You just turned it into an entity. And the more you do that, and the more people recognize it, the more a collective sees it, the more it becomes real. And the more it will literally manifest as a being that can be interacted with. So your shadow, that ignorance that you have of yourself, that you feel, I'm not really a bad guy, I mean, yeah, sure, I've done this, but I'm a good person, I wouldn't do that. And then, you hide the fact that you kind of would do that, right? You hide it from yourself even a little bit. And then next thing you know, like, oh, I did it again, but I'm not really that guy. That's just kind of something I sometimes do. But, we all make mistakes. And,
yeah, that's not me. That's the alcohol. I know I need to get a new router. Ours is slowly starting to shit. This is unfortunately on my end.
You're fine. I'll kill you in your sleep later.
Nothing wrong with doing a little dance on the screen.
You can't kill me in any way that makes any difference.
He's tiny flesh priest. Yeah, that's cute. All right, don't change shape. Oh, as soon as I let go. As soon as I let go.
Every time, dude.
Dude, it's like I'm trying to give you a handy, and as soon as I let go, just for a second to get the freaking the juice, you're like, up, it's shrink, up, I need the stimulation.
Oh, here comes the gravy.
All right.
Fuck.
So, the personification of this ignorance, the egregorization of this ignorance of your true self, can manifest into literal entities that you can interact with and pull out. Here's how you can understand this. There's a psychological exercise where you can invoke parts of your personality. You can address them and talk to them. And doing the work in the Shadownomicon is a magical operation, meaning it's a little bit more than just psychology. There's spiritual work going on here. You're pumping spiritual energy. You're putting your imagination, mind, body, and soul. You're really creating an egregore that is that shadow for you. It might already be there, and you're just giving it more functional form. And you're doing that so you can enter into a relationship with it instead of keeping it hidden for your whole fucking life. So when you call up, say, Ronzael, and you give him, you don't even have to call him Ronzael. That's just, you know why I put those names in there and those descriptions in there? So that you could have a set of bones to flesh out for yourself.
Yeah,
that's it.
Something easy to grab onto.
It's something to grab onto for you to work with. It's like dwarves and how female dwarves have a beard so that they can hold on to them. That's what it's for. Gives you something to grab onto. If I just said, go into your heart and find the hidden rage, a lot of people are going to be stumped on what that looks like and what that means. But if I give you some kind of a toy, if I give you some imaginary shape for you to think about and fill with that monster, now you can fucking work with it and talk to it. And when you do that, the danger is real, because that shadow, if you don't properly integrate it in that process, it will destroy and devour you. If you pull out your shadow and manifest it to sometimes physical form, let me not lie to you, you will see weird shit. You manifest this thing and you don't integrate it properly, you do this for the sake of power, you're fucked. Because you've literally just created your own worst possible demon. You have literally, this is why I say the shadow people are the most literal kind of demon. They're more real, they're more demonic in the sense, when I say the negative slang of demon. They are really what someone would point to and go, that's a demon, whoa, that's terrifying, that's a demon. That is the shadow. And it's scary because you don't want to admit it's there. That's what a demon is. It has nothing to do with, oh, it's a thing in hell. That's so stupid. I know, I'm very irreverent about other people's beliefs tonight.
No, I think that one in particular is very necessary.
Yeah. Because people have been convinced and lied to that the mythology is literally true. The mythology is literally true, but not literally true. How do you help me, Fish? How do I say it?
It's just as much literally true as it's literally bullshit.
Yeah. Fair. Zeus is
Like,
real, but he doesn't live on Olympus.
And there is an Olympus, and Zeus is sometimes there, or just
Yeah.
just take the literal story because it's a fun story, but don't take the literal story because, like, dude, Revelation is fucking sick. Revelation is fucking awesome if you read it literally, but that's not.
Yeah.
No.
That's a horror show.
Yeah.
Jakas augments his
It's
question with a
fucking
follow-up. He
metal.
says, is the shadow in control in cases of possession? I don't want to say no or yes. I will say that many times possession is a case of the shadow emerging and the person lost control of themselves. And the shadow is... So here's the thing. If you don't integrate your shadow, it rules you. And it rules you because you don't know it's there. Literally the most powerful entity that you will ever come across in the spiritual world is your own shadow. It's kind of like playing the second Legend of Zelda game, and the final boss isn't a dragon, it's literally himself, his shadow. That is so deep, but it's true. The final boss is, the Karanzan is your shadow. And it is your ego as a piece of, your ego casts that shadow. How about that? Your ego casts the shadow that you're trying to integrate. How about that? Meet the shadow outside. Or inside. Meet the shadow inside.
God damn it.
How about that?
Oh, you fucker. You deserve to get bonked for that.
What's up, JB? What's up, brother? JB Perry's here. He says the mythology comes from JCI's version of Jim Acosta. Fuck you. I love you, brother. Miss you, man. I messaged you the other day. I want to have a phone call with you when we can. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well.
Be awesome to have him on.
Actually, yeah, we haven't had him on in a while. He'd probably have a great time hanging out with Plushie and me. We'd have a good time. Yeah. So, what's up, JB? Great to see you, man. All right, so I'm gonna deviate a little bit. I think I hopefully I properly, you know, let me know, Jackass, if I solve that for you a little bit, and let's go on to another question.
It's Jackass.
It's Jackass, yeah, I know, Jackass.
Let me see.
Troll extraordinaire.
So let me see the next. the next one I have up from Raul Fernandez. Yepsen, is D.H. Thorne Illuminati?
Do, 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 do.
I'm sorry. What was I just saying? So the next question.
Just someone please have. Can you please have rule terminated, please? Yes. Sector 4. Yeah, Sector 4.
This is more of a comment. It came from a while back. Oh fuck no! I'm
Actually,
sorry.
let me hold that thought for 1 second. I do want to say, yeah, hold those two thoughts. I want to say, well,
there's
real
a lot
quick.
of questions. I'm going back in the archive.
And we do have that. We do have that nice thing from Jay Sauber. I just noticed too. I want to say on the subject of Illuminati, most of those secret societies are just like Area 51 today. They're meant to draw the eye. That's what they're for. They want you looking for them and worrying about them so you don't realize the old mystery schools are still doing everything they used to do. That's not to say there isn't any legitimacy to the orders or the societies, but they're more like gatekeeping societies now, and they're not themselves. They're a mere shadow of what they may have been 100, 200 years ago. They may even be resurrected by fan people who just recreate. So they're allowed to persist openly. So, in that way. Braxton says, no, DH is not Illuminati, but I will be getting him soon enough. I love you, brother. Yeah. So, so whatever that is, whatever the real secret orders are, these other things, this is just my opinion, because I don't know. I'm not in one. But my opinion is that that's a gateless gate, if you will. That's a, you know, it's not really, right? Not really. In fact, I know, I've had family who were, you know, Freemasons, like going way back. I'm talking not in my current iteration of life, but like when I, like my great granduncle who were, you don't get any higher than they were in the Freemasons, really. And then I compare that to people that I see on the street walk around with the Freemason ring, and they don't know anything. Like they're not in on anything. They're just some guy who's there for the fraternity of it, and whatever mysterious gobbledygook is going on, they're just part of a social club, basically, with a little bit of secretism going on. Yeah. So that's my opinion. If wrong, I will someday. I know I'm going to find out sooner or later. You can't do what people like me do forever without kind of bumping into it sooner or later. That's a premonition I had. Like, I know sooner or later I'm going to just wake up and I'm going to be like, man, remember when you had no idea what this shit was really all about? Now you can't talk about it. Fuck. So,
that's when you start writing under a new alias, or you
create.
That's when you make your magnum opus YouTube channel that's featuring nothing but really bad clip art and robotic voiceovers. Just the truth about the Illuminati revealed. Obama is secretly a reptile. Here is the evidence. If you look at 6th Avenue, it creates a pentagram.
They only look like reptiles because their clones got fucked up a little bit, and that's what it is. I love Rolf Fernandez. He's got a great sense of humor, man. I'm reading some of his comments. He's making some good ones. He says, sounds like a yes to me, or something like that. Funny dude, man. So yeah. So, okay, let's get to the question since I went off on that little tangent for a minute.
Oh, shit, son of a bitch. We did have a super chat from JS a while back. Sorry, JS, J Sauber. Just like normal, didn't say or ask anything, just left a tip. Appreciate you, dude, as always.
Beautiful.
So,
thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Let me scroll back up, and where we are at is Marion Eisenberg asks, how would you compare help me here, solipsism
to non-dualism?
Thank you.
Yeah. So first we have to come.
I read it.
Yeah, you know why I hate this question? Because a lot of people think it. A lot of people, and it's a difficult question to answer because in a way of thinking, pantheism or non-dualism is a kind of cosmic solipsism. But the true definition of solipsism is misunderstood by a lot of people to be a reduction of something. In other words, solipsism is an argument that was put forward by the sophists back in the old days of Greece. And it was essentially sort of an argument that was an absurdist argument that was pointing out certain flaws in reason. And it is basically the idea that here's where it gets a little tough, because if I tell you what the idea was, it kind of invalidates it already. If you have a fundamental understanding of non-dualism, you go, yeah, that's not non-duality at all. Solipsism is the idea that, let me give an example with external to myself, that Flesh Priest believes that Flesh Priest is all that is real, and that everybody else he knows doesn't exist and are just an imaginary idea in Flesh Priest's mind. That is kind of like the raw, uncut version of solipsism. It's the idea of idealism taken to such an extreme that your experience around you must be fake, because it is actually true that you can't know for sure if the people you're talking to are real. That is actually true. I don't know, from my little subjective position, whether or not Flesh Priest or even my wife are actually real. This sounds like non-dualism because one of the tenets of non-duality is the idea of Maya and the illusory nature of the world around you. It's the idea that this is, at least in some way, remember there's different iterations of non-dualism, guys. Non-dualism, go Google non-dualism and look at all the different versions there are. Non-dualism is a broad subject. I lean most heavily towards Advaita Vedanta, but it is not the only place that I get my, believe me, I've had ideas long before I studied this So I've had perspective on it before I looked. I didn't learn non-dualism. I'm learning about different styles of non-dualism, but I didn't learn. Non-dualism is not an argument or an idea that you can become convinced of. Non-dualism is an experience that you then try to explain so that people understand why you seem so crazy when you figure it out. That's it. It's not an argument. You can't convince somebody. Like, somebody had an argument with me once trying to argue against non-dualism. I'm like, you can't though. You can't argue somebody out of being able to see. You see or you don't. You can't convince me I'm blind just because we don't agree on what it looks like. That's not how this works. It sounds kind of kind of risky, but I'm not making an ontological, logical argument about anything except my own experience of things. So that's number 2. So where solipsism makes a claim about the universe, non-duality kind of doesn't. All it really does is describe the experience that you have. That's sort of number 2. Number 3, non-duality actually does not deny the experience of other people in your experience. All it says is that they are other sides of you experiencing each other. So in other words, non-duality proper does not say that Flesh Priest doesn't exist. What it says is that Flesh Priest is just like me. In fact, Flesh Priest ultimately is me. He's the other side of me across this abyss of apparent emptiness shut up. This abyss of apparent emptiness that we think separates us.
We're the same.
But we are the same I. So it is, in a way, cosmic solipsism. But that's not solipsism. Because if you recall, solipsism, what did I say? Solipsism is the idea that Flesh Priest believes that Flesh Priest is all there is and everybody else is imaginary. There is actually an ontological reason why that cannot be true. The reason that cannot be true is because if Flesh Priest was all that was real, that actually invalidates Flesh Priest himself, because the only way to have the identity of Flesh Priest is to have something that Flesh Priest is different from to compare to, or separate from to indicate that it is alone. So in other words, if Flesh Priest is really all there, if Flesh Priest really was all there was in the universe and everybody else was imaginary, then Flesh Priest doesn't exist, because there's nothing for me to point to and say, well, that's not Flesh Priest. Because in order to say something is something, so you are not defined by what you are, you're defined by what you're not. You think you're defined by what you are because that's how you organize it in your mind, because you can't keep track of all the shit you're not. When I say I am D.H. Thorne, which is the materialist mind saying that, when I say I'm D.H. Thorne, what I'm really saying is I'm not my phone, I'm not that, I'm not that. That's really what I'm saying. It sounds like I'm saying I'm all of this, but that's not what I'm saying, because that's just not enough. I'm actually saying D.H. Thorne here, not D.H. Thorne there. Explain to D.H. Thorne. That's what I'm doing.
D.H. Thorne all.
D.H. Thorne all. Camilla is censored. Yes, I should give Camilla more time to talk. She's just kind of hanging out. Yeah. But yeah, solipsism is not non-duality. And you can Google this. This argument has been had to death, and even people who know what even people in their own Discord, yes, solipsism is not non-duality. They are not the same. They're not making the same claim at all. They are actually, true non-dualism actually obliterates solipsism as irrational. If you really explore it, it does not. They cannot be compared.
Braxton says, this is when, like, math makes.
Oh my God, would you stop moving?
Zero is even. I'm not doing it.
You know what? I'm not changing it. You guys just have to deal with the wiggling. You know what? Go away. We love you, but go away.
No, please, thank you. Yeah, I'm getting tired
until your shit settles down.
dance.
Like, somebody get the calm your tits meme up, please, because that.
I was just thinking can calm your tits.
Oh my God! It won't stop.
I can see the fucking. They won't be able to see it, but I can still see my bar dancing.
Okay, I think it's stabilized. It won't get any bigger than that anyway. So let's leave that there. Okay, so everybody wants Camilla to talk more. So Camilla, be all sexy and cute and talk more. I'm actually going to get a drink of water because I'm actually done being wise. For all you dumb motherfuckers, I won't hear what you guys have to say. So if I don't like what you have to say, that's my problem.
Yeah, get that liquid.
I can't hear you.
Drink it good, man.
I'm totally. You can get away with anything.
So, I'm just gonna keep. You and me are both wigging out on this. This is.
Totally.
I hope that whoever you are in the audience watching this in the future, I hope you're listening to this and not watching it, because I would be going crazy.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't give someone epileptic seizures the way you're dancing all over the screen like that.
Yeah. I'm starting to feel it a little bit. I want the fourth person in the lower left corner to speak its wisdom to us. That is so unsettling right now. We don't have a fourth person in the bottom left, do we?
It's Bob from accounting.
Well, I'm gonna go take some medicine real fast. I'll be back. This was a nice stream, everybody. So, have you been on the magical conversation? Have you been doing anything recently that you care to share about us, or has work just kept you busy to do anything formalized?
Actually, I did have a couple things that came up. One of them was, well, you know me in my dream situation. One of them was, it was like a thought that popped into my head while I was in the middle of work, in the throes of the season, and, it's hard to explain. For some reason, I'm not good at explaining things.
That's why she married me.
Yeah. I get the long-winded man over there to help me out.
She said that with such venom.
No. It was actually a protection ritual I came up with. Like, it's, reaffirming sanctuary, the home, which is sanctuary, and refilling it with positive energy and love and everything that you need to get through the fucking day. Sometimes, rose quartz. Rose quartz is all about love. It's essentially what this ritual is it's going to be working with Halfus and Malfus. Building up the walls and then protecting the walls with armaments.
Okay.
Potentially Dantalion too, for the love, the sanctuary, all that good stuff.
I was gonna say, you guys already have enough armaments in there. I don't know if the house. You might actually have to remove some of the insulation behind your drywall to fit some more.
No, I can't do that anymore. Our heating bills are already like shit because of that. I mean, that's not actually what you do. You get some PVC pipe and you put them in trees painted brown so people don't realize they're up there and the bomb sniffers are off. I mean,
So I came up with this ritual where you empower 4 pieces of rose quartz and you bury it north, south, east, west of the house outside.
Okay.
And in my dream that night is where I came up with the rest of my ritual, which is, for some reason, a palm leaf. You take a palm frond and you turn it into a heart. I actually have it somewhere over here. Well, anyway, It's supposed to be 10 leaves from a palm frond, and you shape it into a heart, and you let it dry. And as you do in the ritual, you smear the blood on it from everybody in the house, you know, little pinprick, and smear some blood on it, and then you make throw it in the cauldron as an offering. And you get some roses and you have them drying as an offering as well. Different colors for, you know, friendship, loyalty, love, all that stuff, fun stuff. And then you let that dry, and then later on you burn that too. So that is an upcoming one that I'm going to be doing.
That I always find it interesting that because my approach is just so in the moment of this looks like a good stick for that. Yeah, I'm going to use this stick. It's always interesting to me hearing how much thought people like you put into like the intentionality and specificity of the components, like with the palm frond specifically, or it has to be rose quartz, which you guys just like your minerals a whole hell of a lot more than me. I like them, but not enough to understand all the differences.
You're a bad heathen.
And I'm a bad heathen, but I'm a good crow. Jacques actually asked something that I was wondering about too. Is Halfus a different spelling for Malphus?
No.
Or are they different spirits?
Completely different.
Halfus is a mourning dove.
Okay.
Or a rock dove.
Creature. Yeah. Or a rock dove. Yeah, a dove.
It's symbolism.
Yeah.
They're not the same. Halfos is the supplier. Malphos is the guard, basically.
Yeah, they're often seen together and work together.
Also, speaking of working together, how bad is your work if that's Bob from accounting, Camilla? Because I now see the person in the bottom left, and it's a little scary.
Bob is a bitch.
All the time is lunchtime for Bob.
Damn straight. No, but there was another one I actually performed during the season 2. I had someone I was working with temporarily, and she drove everybody fucking nuts there. Like.
You mean you? I mean, just kidding. Kill not I. Kill not.
Shit, maybe it's gonna backfire on me then. God damn it. No, but she had a habit of putting drawings and like drawing and taping them to everything. Oh my god, no, she was a pain in the ass through and through. Yes, she did her work, but I won't go into it. She was insane, absolutely insane. So the last day that she was there, I took her drawings and I brought them home, and I threw all my anger and hate into these things for about 4 nights. And in the middle of doing this, her boyfriend works with us still. And in the middle of doing this, as I'm throwing all this rage and everything into it, she goes and she gets the second COVID shot. And before I could even perform the ritual, she is freaking having a grand old time with that. Like, really, she got sick from it.
Yeah, it's pretty much everybody I heard of. It fucking knocks them out. Actually,
it hit her really, like, I don't think I've heard it hit someone so hard.
Actually, on that topic, I'm not going to tell this on stream, but after stream sometime I've got a story for you related to that.
Ooh.
What the fuck were you going to do with the pictures? Just pour all your hate into them and then just burn them and shit? Also...
I poured my freaking hate into them, and I did a working with Leviathan to send her madness.
Okay, yeah,
Stir her
well...
seas. And 2 of them I burned, 1 I shoved into grave dirt. For keeping.
I still God damn it. You guys make me want to use grave dirt, and I keep telling myself I'm gonna go get some, and then each time I got other things I'm going to do. Where I just saw something I was going to... Crackbite, you also should draw along with this stream, and afterwards you should show us all what you're working on. I think that would be bitchin'. Oh, Jen is saying the Moderna one seems worse. I was fine with both doses of Pfizer, but now I can send psychic text messages because I'm 5G enabled, y'all.
Nice.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll just tell that story now. I went and I got my shot the other day, and it's the first shot that I've had in years, and I hate needles. So I thought I was better with them, but I got myself so psyched out about the goddamn needle that I actually fainted in the middle of the pharmacy. And when I came to, I'm like, yeah, don't worry, guys. I was just linking up with the 5G. It's good. The CPU rebooted.
Friggin' Mass Effect right there with the Geth.
Yeah, exactly.
Becoming one with the Reapers, are we? Oh shit.
We laugh because we know it is true, Jen.
Right? Why don't you?
Okay, so I'm going to next point of conversation. Question from GR. They ask, this was earlier when we were discussing left versus right hand pathedness, and the.
I feel like I'm gonna have to engage left brain, and I'm not gonna be able to draw. No, go ahead.
Oh no, you know what? This is actually more of a comment, anyways. Isn't it a bit like politics? What's left and right is relative to your perception. I would, maybe on some level, I guess I would need to think about that take a little bit more, but. As far as I interpret left versus right hand pathedness, which everybody has a little bit of a different fucking definition, so it's kind of almost no point in even talking about it because you first got to establish definitions. It's about realizing your own divinity.
I'm gonna say no.
Oh, about
because left hand path is yeah, well, no. Because there is that's like almost like a non-answer. Say, oh, it depends on you. I mean, all right, fine, it does. It always does.
But there might be some nuance, but yeah, ultimately it kind of just comes down to: are you being subservient, or are you recognizing your own divinity?
Well, yes, and I'm going to say no because, I mean, yes, but no. Here's the thing: what we call the left-hand path is the Western incarnation of Vamchara from the Eastern path. And if you look up what Vamchara is, it's actually not really expressed anything like the way many left-hand path guys in the West do it, but it's the closest thing to it. And if you look it up, it's very clear what it's about. And it's kind of like the opposite of asceticism, where you're like asceticism being like, oh, you're a monk that only wears burlap, or you live by strict moral codes and so on. It's sort of like the opposite of that in a way. Not that you're supposed to indulge constantly in all these things to the point of obsession. It's actually learning to be capable of enjoying those things without succumbing to them. So it permits, it doesn't just permit, it encourages integration of taboos. It's like shadow work. And you're basically integrating taboos. And so the point is you should not have a taboo. Because here's the thing, if you're God, which is what all of these non-dual traditions are telling you in some way or another. If you are God, then the idea of you having a taboo is absurd because you're already doing all these taboo things as God. God is already raping and murdering and doing all of the things that we say are immoral and in good and not good. This is one of the fundamental arguments against Christian moralism didn't God make the evil that he wants to destroy? How can that evil be evil if God made it? Well, it's a very good question, isn't it? And that's the point. This is why you know that these fundamental right-hand religions are bullshit, because they don't address this. They ignore that, and they act like it's not really an issue in this way. So, but it is. If God is perfect, then why does evil exist? Either, well, first of all, evil is, of course, whatchamacallit? It's an illusion. There is no evil. But the better understanding is simply God and the devil are the same character. And they're you. They're both you. And there is no evil. There is no good. You're doing everything. You want to know the most twisted and sick revelation, if you really embrace non-duality, is? I want you guys to imagine the most wretched, disgusting, vile, sadistic murderer that you can imagine. Picture them in your mind for a minute. And here's 2 thoughts for you. Number 1, you're them. They're not you. You are them. Okay, that's great. That's like, we can all kind of just go, that sucks, but I can kind of, it's like fantasizing that you're a bad guy. I get it. Okay, good. You want to know the really fucked up thing? Imagine them just absolutely going hog wild evil and murdering somebody and brutalizing them and utterly torturing them. And one of their biggest kicks is to stare in their eyes as they do so, to just gaze at them as they go. As they're like coring their body like an apple. They're just staring in their eyes and just drinking in all of the torment that they're going through. I have to be graphic for this to really hit. And then realizing that it's the same person. The one who's doing the tormenting and the one who's tormented. The one who's got the sadistic fascination with staring in the eyes of the tormented individual. They're staring into their own cosmic eyes. It's the same person. They're literally torturing themselves. They're literally getting off on hurting themselves. There's no other way to put it. Let that wobble your mind for a little bit. Really, really sit with that in a dark room and think about all the shit that you can't tolerate in your life that you think is evil. Like when everybody says, oh, this is evil, I can't tolerate. Okay, good. Do you believe in non-duality? Oh, interesting. So if you believe in non-duality, have you ever sat and been that guy that you think is so evil? Have you ever really contemplated what that's like? Have you ever really realized that that character is also God just like you? And that when they're murdering that innocent person, this is why they say, we murder ourselves when we do this stuff. Think of how trippy and fucked up that really is. That as they're sitting there torturing that individual and totally just destroying them, when they're gazing into their eyes with pleasure, they're literally gazing into their own eyes. The only one they're hurting, it's when you hear someone say the only one you hurt when you do evil is yourself, that sounds like some kind of mamsy-pamsy sweetheart thing to say.
It's like, you're right. I feel like you backed into this, but you got the correct answer. Correct.
Right.
I can speak.
Yeah,
English.
exactly. You backed into it like, yeah, you fucked up, but you did it you failed upwards.
You used the wrong equation, but somehow got the correct answer.
Yes. And that's one of those revelations of non-duality that'll make you sit bolt upright and you sit on the toilet for hours thinking about when you're supposed to be sleeping and go to work. Because you go, oh fuck, this is why the right-hand path kind of gives me a twitch, because it's like they are the cause of every shadow is the right-hand path. Every single one is caused by every shadow is caused by that right-hand denial. Oh, I'm not evil. I could never be evil. I'm not evil. Well, you are though. There is no evil, but if there was, you are that. Tat Vamasi. You are that too.
I am God's chosen. I cannot be evil, for God chose me.
And you know the irony of that statement? That's actually true too. You are God's chosen. Right now. He chose you, Pikachu. He wants to be you right now.
I don't appeal to my nostalgia. How dare you? Oh, 2 comments on the artwork. I forget. I read this earlier. I forget who wrote it. You should write on that banner, if you can read this, you're too close.
That was JB.
Yep. Thank you.
That was JB.
And GA asks, how does Clip Studio Paint compare to Photoshop?
Oh, that's okay. You ready for another long conversation?
Photoshop
so
seems more like an image manipulator, not an artist canvas.
Absolutely wrong. You can do both. Photoshop was what I cut my teeth on for many years. Let me put it to you like this. Photoshop absolutely has features that you need to do a lot of graphic arts with, but all of the graphic arts that I value, Clip Art Studio does all of them, and it costs virtually nothing by comparison. Clip Studio Paint is a very good medium if you like to do art that is of a comic book or painterly style. It's excellent. You can create comics. There's a lot of tools that helps you make text bubbles and all kinds of good shit. And it's really geared towards that kind of art. Photoshop has more image manipulation, like Fleshy said, but it is also a full-featured canvas, just like Clip Studio.
In fact, right now, Clip Studio is on sale for 50% off.
So, and Clip Studio is...
Wait, are we
like
sponsored?
what? We should be.
Sponsored,
Should be.
anyway, you cheeky bastards.
We should be, because I'm doing a lot of work in it. It's my favorite program. Let me put it to you this way. I can afford Photoshop, and I use Clip Studio. Because I don't need most of the shit that Photoshop does. And Photoshop costs a lot more. You have to pay a yearly fee for it. You can't even buy it outright anymore. And when you could, it was like $800. This, I don't know what it is right now. What's the 50%
Studio
then?
at 50% off, the most basic version is $25 fucking dollars.
You can't go wrong. What's the full version?
The full
like I
version
have?
right now is $109.
Yeah, so I probably paid $200, not even for this, like $150 or
I got the
something like
$50 one myself, and it works perfectly fine.
that. Yeah.
My mic's still gonna be on. I just don't need everybody to watch me cracking my back right now.
Everybody watch him. Watch him, everybody.
Put that microphone nice and close.
Another suggestion from Wyatt is to, on the banner,
Fuck
write
you, Wyatt.
heaven in dried blood.
Actually, I was going to do... Well, you guys will see in a minute. I'm getting to it.
Crackbite is also looking for ideas of what they should draw while watching this stream with us. Do you all have what's a nice dark image that comes to your minds? Did my headphones die?
No.
No, we hear you.
Oh, I thought that was a question for the audience.
Oh no, well, I mean, also yes, but also, I was gonna say, you two dark motherfuckers got nothing dark coming to mind right now? Really? Fuck.
Actually, I do have a plan if I decide to continue doing art with this. It's going to be my meeting with Asmodee. I was thinking about doing that next.
I say you draw a bitching fucking crow, just carrying a guy
I could do
off
that.
into the distance.
Yeah, I could do that.
Oh no, sorry, I was
No,
talking
it's
to
for-
Crackbite.
Yeah,
Oh,
Crackbite's looking
just
for options.
Just a crow carrying somebody. Against their will, with their blessing, I'm not sure, but just off into the distance. Approaching the holy mountains. Lucifer flying off a cross.
I like the Lucifer one, flying off a cross.
flying off the handle around here.
Here we go. You keep saying that we forget that we are the 3 O's, and that's why we aren't like that all the time. If that's the case, then how come I can't remember? Do I have Alzheimer's?
What do you mean, how come you can't remember? Of course you can't. It's a choice, guy. It's a choice. You know what suspension of disbelief is? Think about that, but in a cosmic way. Have you ever played a game where you played a child? Have you ever pretended you didn't know something so that you could enjoy something a little bit more? On your end of the experience, it feels like you really don't remember. But you are looking through a keyhole. And you made that keyhole. Because it's a game. It's kind of like you can take psychedelics to do weird shit, right? Imagine you could take a drug that would make you forget shit for a little while. You might ask, why would I do that? But somebody would. You know somebody would be like, oh, fuck yeah. Well, okay, hit me with that forgetful shit.
Yeah, it's like, there's that question that goes around a bunch of just, like, if you could completely forget a game, a book, a movie...
And do it again.
Yeah,
That's
and
actually the better...
re-experience
Yes,
it
yes,
for the
thank
first
you.
time.
Yes, that is actually... I'm a little distracted. That's actually the... Finish the analogy, but I want to say that... That's the one I should have said. Finish that analogy, please. Sorry.
That's pretty much it. Just if you could forget a piece of media and go back and relive it for the first time all over again, fresh, which one would it be? Like, would you? And a lot of people would absolutely do it. I know I would, at the time, go back and forget all about Oblivion and spend another 3,000 something hours in that fucking game. Jesus Christ.
I think I would, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go.
I think I would relive the reading of Ready Player One.
Yeah, you do love that book.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely see why.
I got so close to winning the DeLorean, I'll tell you that. In the contest that he was running.
Oh, I have no idea about that. That went right over my head.
I passed the second gate. I was ready to do the third gate, but that was nearly impossible for me, so yeah.
Okay, I still haven't seen it, read it. But yeah, a lot of people would say they would absolutely forget a piece of media just for the pure joy of experiencing it all over again. So a lot of ways what we are doing, what we're experiencing, if we are the universe, is just doing exactly that, limiting...
How dare you say if in my presence.
I'm putting it out there for people who might be on the cosmic fence.
Like I said, you can't be convinced of this. Like, if you're tuning in here for me to convince you that you're God, that's not how this works. Why do you think people created all these theurgistic systems that you guys call magic? You know what I'm saying? Making sense?
Did you ask a question to me? I was reading comments.
No, that was a off
okay,
to the...
just want to make sure.
Yeah, no, that was a peanut gallery question. Actually, that's kind of condescending, isn't it? I think I've always heard of that. I always thought of peanut gallery as just the people, like in the audience. But then I think peanut gallery is actually supposed to be like the people who are like in the cheap seats, like they're the ones you don't want at the show. I could be wrong.
I don't know. It's a little bit...
A little negative, right?
I don't know. Well, I think it's an older term, so I think maybe it might have gotten a little washed out through time, where you're probably right. I feel like you're right, that it has more of a negative connotation, but I feel like modern usage is just doesn't really matter. Not necessarily a negative connotation. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I always took it to mean like the hecklers in the crowd.
That could be, yeah. Maybe that's why I'm thinking it's negative.
God damn it, Jackass. I wish I could...
What do you do now?
I wish I could forget, how do I say this for you two?
Prawn.
Oh yeah, there we go. I wish
Prawn.
I could get prawn, so I could get terrified by it for the first time again.
What, porn made you freak out?
For the first...
Like, what was it? Was it a certain kind of porn? And I don't know that because I got my back to the screen. There's a lot of silence.
He's saying,
Was it sideways midget porn?
Come on, you can't tell me you weren't a little terrified when you first walked in on your parents shooting pornography
Oh, the
on
moment?
their flat screen mirror.
I don't know if he walked in on that at all.
Who,
Yeah,
me?
weren't your parents divorced by the time you were old enough to really see
Doesn't
what
mean that they didn't
was?
fuck ever again. It's not like they died.
Well,
Of course I walked in on that shit. That shit was horrific.
I wasn't sure if you were old
That was
enough
like one of the
for
most...
that.
I mean, thank you. Now it's in my head. I see it clear as day. Beautiful. That's great.
You-
know
Wonderful.
what? I think
You
it's
had
right
only
at that.
limited your...
You're on your own
experience
for a
to
little
not
while
have
there,
this
sweetheart. I'm good
always
for a while.
existed.
You might have to go on the freaking Thorne Hub for a little bit because I'm going to be off the menu for a couple of days now. Thanks.
So Braxton
Well, ain't that
Perry
bad.
has to go, but says they will talk by phone soon.
All right, brother. Miss you, man. Hope all is well.
Okay, what? I'm gonna get off that because that seems like we could walk into some dangerous territory and make
I think we did.
make Thorne realize even more of the universe that he's limited himself
Right?
out
Like
from.
I'm used to non-dual revelations, not that shit.
I'm not ready for that revelation. Oh, put me back.
Jaquan has a little bit more context here. He says, I felt so bad for the women when I opened the Playboy. Their penises have been savagely cut off.
What happened? Some wieners flew off?
No. He felt so bad for the women when he opened the Playboy. Their penises have been savagely cut off.
Oh, fuck a doodle. Come on, man. He's trolling. That boy knows how to troll.
I feel bad that took that long to click for me. I thought he just opened up a very niche type of book. He's talking about being a kid, not understanding.
Oh, yes. Yep.
I don't know why he sounded.
How come that one has an innie and that one has an outie?
I think he might have sounded a little bit like Mickey Mouse when he was younger, apparently.
I think he did. Yeah. He might be able to confirm. Please confirm.
Oh.
Dick caught in zipper.
Oh man, I hate what he has created. Everybody's talking about the first time they discovered it. Right now, I don't. Okay.
Oh, you just made me think of another fucking scarring moment. I remember this one dude. He was a little twisted, and he took his wiener out and stuck it. Like, you ever take the handlebar off an old bike? I don't know if you could do this anymore, but it used to be you could take the little rubber part off a bike. And this dude was like really weird. He whipped it out and freaking stuck his wiener right in that little hole, and like shook it around and tried to make everybody grab it. And I ran away screaming. I think I dodged a bullet that day, by the way. I think
Ow!
I think I would have been very different had that happened the way it was going to happen.
To make you grab the handle of the bike, or
Well, yeah. Well, the handle that was on his crank at the time.
Oh, the rubber part?
Because he had taken the handle, the rubber part, and stuck his wiener in it. I guess to prove that it would fit, and he made people grab it, and I ran like a motherfucker.
You did the right thing.
I believe I did. I believe that was the moment of that was
I can ride
absolute
my bike with no
serendipity right there.
I hate that. I absolutely hate that.
It's a good story though.
How did he get it to fit? I mean, I don't know. I am the cheese wheel here, so maybe I'm just coming.
Well, this was back in the 80s, dude. So like the bike handles were different then.
Okay.
So like they just popped off the
Oh,
ends.
those things are super stretchy too.
Yeah.
Wait, he put it. Oh, he put it in the rubber.
Yeah, he put his wing dang
I
doodle
thought
in
you
the
meant
rubber.
in the tube, the metal tube of the handle.
Our recording says that dude was you right now. Dude, I was 7, bro. Dude, don't be thinking about me at 7 holding the dick in the thing. What the hell's wrong with you?
I like to call this stream the dead on
How
arrival
Thorne
of
lost his channel.
monetization.
I didn't even realize that. Oops. I don't think I crossed the line. Well, these are never monetized, these streams, so I know what's going to happen on these streams. I don't monetize these fucking bad boys.
What do you mean B-line? There's many lines.
That's one of the reasons I love them so much. But I still do like seeing how I can get around the YouTube shit with forever.
You still have to be careful.
runs.
Yes.
Yeah.
You still have to be careful because they will still fuck you and they will still F you in the A.
We need to start making code words. We need to occult it. We need to occult
We
it,
do.
DH.
They've tried doing that many a times, and then that word gets banned.
We need to stay 3 steps ahead of them, so they don't even have the trail of breadcrumbs. So, another comment we had, this one was from a while ago. I've discovered something interesting about the shadows. Since shadows are personifications of feelings we don't like, just become a masochist. You'll be the happiest damn guy on earth.
Maybe.
Until it's just like, we're not gonna do anything to you. Wait, wait, no, cut me, kick me, anything, please.
What was that? What the hell was the movie? That happened in some movie where they find out that they're a masochist and they're like, well, I just won't do anything. What the hell was that? Am I remembering something that's not real? I do that sometimes.
I feel like I've seen that in a meme, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen that movie, but it sounds like something that would happen.
Yeah, it could be.
That's how you... If you really want to punish somebody who actually, likes punishment, that's how you punish them. Just, I'm not going to do anything to you.
It kind of sounds almost like a South Park thing with Satan.
Oh boy, sorry guys.
Osama would be all over him.
Yeah.
Anything we can conceive of has reality. It's the choices that we make that determine what is our self and what is our shadow. From GR. And this one is going to have to be in one of your guys' court, because I don't know. From Dorian1221, question for yous, good sirs. Is Dantalian, and the spelling of that threw me off for a second. Is Dantalian a later day rendition of Psyche?
I don't know. I would definitely, say that in my questions to ask him who and what he is, I've gotten everything from something not unlike that to don't worry about it. Don't forget I did have that experience once where the spirits basically said, stop trying to make us all the same. We manifest as these different egregores and entities for you so that you have something personal to work with, something that's different. If it was just Psyche, why not just work with Psyche, right? I think is what I'm trying to say. So it's not that it's not Psyche. It maybe very well is. And it's just the Christian demonized version of it. It's very, very plausible, if not likely, that that's what it is. But I would also say that if you're attracted to Dantalian as Dantalian, then stay with that. Don't necessarily try to make it something else. If it wants you to, if you do, that's fine. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying if you're drawn to Dantalian, make it Dantalian. If you want it to be Psyche, if you think it might be Psyche, if it's telling you I might be Psyche, if in any way, shape, or form that's coming up to you and you feel like it's holding water, then, feel it out. If it feels right, go with it. Don't fight it. Because the worst thing you're doing, you're not offending it, you're still talking to it, you're still giving it energy and attention. So it's kind of harmless if you get it a little wrong. Just be careful what you tell other people, that's all, because people are fucking nitwits. And people get offended when you call their sky daddy a different name than what they call it. So just be aware of that and don't worry about it too much. I actually do like comparing it to Psyche. I really do. Does that mean that I would go out making videos saying it's Psyche? Only because, well, then again, I shouldn't say that because I've done that with King Vine. So maybe I shouldn't say exactly what I'm trying to say right there. But I would hesitate, I guess is the truth. I would hesitate to go out. When I say King Vine is Mahis from Egypt, I have very little evidence on that except the correlation between them and what King Vine tells me, right? So that's that. But I like it. I like where your head's at.
I also wanted to let you know that that we have one person currently watching who says that they downvote these videos to keep your feet on the earth.
Whatever. Sounds like they're just trying to elevate themselves a little bit. No, it's fine. I don't give a fuck. I have people who downvote these because they hate me. No, I'm really not taking it seriously. I really don't care. Thank you for it. Honestly, the thing is, it doesn't matter for the algorithm. It's actually cool anyway because you're interacting with my content, so YouTube's like, we're making money. They honestly don't care. The only time they care is if you're so consistently downvoted that it makes them question, what are you doing?
Any attention is
Not that it matters. I get their joke, by the way. I just want.
Yeah.
I'm drawing, so my attention is sideways right now. So I'm laughing in my head, going. Somebody said that a couple weeks ago, saying they downvote this just to keep me. What was it? Keep me humble. But they really love my show.
Actually, I think that was Jackass that time too.
Oh, was Jackass both times?
Oh no, I sold him out.
That's fine. I'll curse him later. In fact, here we go.
Curse him now. Why?
I'm gonna do it right now.
Yes, draw. You're going to be Art Jackass.
There we go. He's immortalized.
You are art. You are pure artwork, my friend Jackass.
I forgot the A's,
you
didn't I?
missed-
Oh well, whatever. I can't spell. Guys, for real, if I don't have a fucking speak and spell, like if I don't have a fucking word processor, you wouldn't be able to read my shit. You'd still be like, I wouldn't have any following at all whatsoever. People would be like, who is this idiot?
What's funny is you know the long words and I don't know how to spell them.
Oh no, I have a vocabulary that'll put fucking
You
Webster
have
in the
vocabulary,
dark.
but I could spell the word.
Yeah.
Yeah. For as many fucking years on this earth as I've been, I still cannot write. Oh, okay, good. That's what would Jesus do? Okay, never mind. I still can't spell fucking definitely. No idea.
Yeah, I know. I got that word like separately. I just figured that one out like the other day. I'll probably forget it again soon.
You know what word always trips me up? Ridiculous.
Yeah, fuck that.
It's not R-I.
You know, just bless the magic of autocorrect. Because, seriously. Another question that we have comes from Jacques. Magical...
Damn that boy.
Magical significance of the solar eclipse, perhaps.
Ugh. Look it up. Tons. Look it up. That's too much. That's too much. That's too technical. That's a Google it question. No offense, man. That's a Google it question. Not because I couldn't give you an answer, but it's just like
Too dense.
my thing is the deep shit, not the pictures on top.
I just don't worry about that shit too. I feel like I should start journaling some of that shit down, or like I can't remember this dude's name, but he keeps very specific track of not only what he does magically day to day, but just an overall snapshot of how he was feeling that day, significant things that were affecting his life, shit like that. And he's kept track of these things for years and years and years. And he was revealing that he'll go back once a year and just kind of read through it like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
You know what's really funny?
What's
I just
that?
picked up this book. Not really quite on screen. It's the Zen as Fuck Daily Planner. Get shit done.
I like that.
Yeah.
Also, I'm sorry that I'm unintentionally covering you up a bit.
That's okay.
You
This
doing it
thing-
again?
This thing is great. You map out what you want to do for a week, and then it has like the daily thing after that. And it says, like make this shit happen, some bullshit that won't weigh me down, and then something that was positive for the day. You know, shit like that. Like, you give yourself 5 things to do for the day.
I actually dig that. I might have to take a look at that.
I'm enjoying it so far.
Jacques asked, what was the book?
It's the Get Shit Done book.
We should be sponsored.
We
God
should.
damn it, we plug enough things. That's a
Get us sponsored, guys. Go to like those sponsor things and be like, pick this stream.
Sprite, call me, baby. I want to be your sponsor. I want to say the good word of the lemon lime. But I really feel like I should start keeping track of things because I don't pay attention to the stars at all or any.
Astrology's worth getting into, yes.
Okay, that is an opinion. I will definitely say and can confirm that is an opinion. But yeah, that's the thing is it's totally a me thing. I don't want to put in the effort, partially just because I kind of see it as gobbledygook, but then I also do gobbledygook plenty, so I might as well just gobbledygook some more. I would really want to keep track of these things without knowing any of the alignments or whatever the fuck else is going on, and then go back with all that knowledge, grab the star charts or whatever, and just, okay, this was happening at this point in my life. Oh yeah, okay, that correlates. Mercury was in retrograde. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but that's not what it is, though. It's not a fortune teller, and it's not meant to be like that. Yes, it can absolutely give you perspective on things, but it's really, you have to see it as the as above, so below idea. That it will tell you, like tarot will tell you about yourself. It has nothing to do with the other way around. That doesn't mean, so instead of seeing the planets and stars as if they beam energy at you and change your life or something like that they have any control over your life or anything like that, it is more appropriate to recognize that, like a clock where all of the pieces move together, that's more like what it's like. And it's not meant to be even that rigid that I'm describing. That's actually not even fair. So I suggest you look into it for the purposes of symbolism and correspondence, because when you understand, at least all you really have to understand, you have the 4 fixed signs, you have all the planets, you have what they do, you have the whatchamacallit, the 4 fixed signs are the big ones because they represent the 4 elements, and that stuff correspondent with planetary energies. When you understand what the planets are and what they symbolize, they're all useful. Can you work without it? Can you exchange it for, say, Jungian archetypes and all that? Absolutely. So, but it's worth getting into because it unravels a lot of the mysteries of a lot of different magical systems, to just at least have a tertiary knowledge. I don't have a very good, like, I'm not a Bill Duvendak or like someone who's like an astrologer. It is literally just a layer that helps me understand the bigger picture.
So like, I feel like you're right, and I want to accept, the value of what you're saying, and
still not do it anyway?
Well, I guess my thing is, like, I'm not trying to be a contrarian with it. It's just like, I like discovering, like, it's just such a treaded ground. It's like, if it's a tool to help us understand, then this is basically the fucking wristwatch that everybody goes to, and it's easy and everybody understands it, but I don't know, I'm kind of just sitting over here like, I'm gonna get really into sundials this year. Yeah, I'll figure out the same thing in the most inconvenient way possible. Yeah, let's do it. Just because nobody else does it, so fuck it. Maybe I'll be the one to find some really cool shit here. Plenty of fucking other people have walked that path. How many people do you see walking around with a goddamn sundial? Maybe there's something to it.
So what do you guys think of this glowing figure. I was going to put a whole bunch of these ghostly figures. Do you guys think it's okay? Should I go with maybe changing it to a red or something? Let me see.
I think it stands out a little too much. It needs to
Well, I
blend a
need...
little bit.
Well, that's the point. I want it to stand out, but yeah, that might be too
To me,
distracting.
it's too
Let me see.
bright. Maybe more on the yellow side.
More or less opacity. That's better. Are you gonna do anything with the sky, or is that going to stay a relatively flat shade?
That's probably going to stay relatively flat for now. I don't think I'm going to put clouds or anything.
Okay.
Does it help if I change it to that reddish color? Is that better?
To me, the red kind of... It's too red. Too pinky.
Makes it pop.
To me, it needs to be a little more blendy. That's just my
Well,
opinion, though.
If I blend it too much, it's going to mud out.
No. I mean, little more along the brown side. That's just my opinion, though.
I mean, it's supposed to be like a ghostly figure that's like a glowing ghostly figure, so...
Yeah.
Should I just not do glowing ghosts?
No, you can do it. It's just my
I
opinion.
know I can. Honey, with the opinion shit, I know that. I'm trying to find out what the reasoning is, for fuck's sake.
To me, it's just too bright. It kind of stands out a little. Like,
And where the hell did my
yellow,
text go?
You got the yellow bright thing there.
Hold on. Major emergency. Where did half my shit go? Half of my shit went away. I must have deleted something. Because we're all arguing about dumb shit.
We're not arguing.
Jaka says it was good when it was gray-blue. Ajna says maybe more smoky. Mr. Zombie says electric blue maybe. Flesh Priest says it looks nice, but it also maybe distracts a little bit too much from the main focal point. If you include it, maybe have it just barely visible so it doesn't distract.
So I can't fix what I broke.
In the options.
I literally can't fix what I broke. I deleted the layer somewhere along the way.
Oh no.
What about Control Z? Just undo.
I just checked. I can't get them back. Unless... Wait. There they are. I really thought I deleted the layers. That's so not cool. So what did I do exactly instead? Oh, that's what I did. What the hell? This is the problem with layers. Sometimes you just completely lose your... Boop.
I usually end up with a lot of folders on that one. On that
Yeah, I just don't
program.
feel like doing it.
It's very time consuming.
So I don't really need the color layer. That's gone. So some people are saying they like the blue stuff. Some people are saying they don't.
It's subjective.
Well, there are going to be a few more of them all over the scene, but I know that it does draw the eye away from Fat Boy a little bit. But I was looking forward to having some like ghostly figures flying around.
I just think if it's muted a little bit, a little more translucent.
Yeah, that I can do, for sure.
I think part of the reason why it's popping so much is just there's not a lot of blue in here.
No, that is absolutely it. Oh, for fuck's sake. Apparently I cut it, but I didn't. Please work.
I had a dude that... No, I'm sorry. Was a...
So like that? Too much, too little?
No, I think that's good.
Yeah, I like that a lot more.
Say when I go too far.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're doing
that's
things?
good.
I'm just very slowly walking it.
I used to...
So just for the sake of experiment, I'll make more of them.
Because I think it looks better that it's not as bright as the yellow in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, they're multiplying, the ghost armies. The spirit of Christ comes back to take the flesh.
Well, we're going to start with that, and then we're going to fuck with them. Using a technique called I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh, I'm the master of that technique.
Right? It's good shit.
A lot of times that's when the best stuff happens.
In my experience, that is absolutely true. I am really curious for those of you watching right now. Sound off. Tell me, how many of you put a lot of intentionality in your workings, and how many of you kind of just make it up as you go? Because, as already established, I am very much in the do it as I go camp, and I am the masturbator. What? And which is where things like what you're doing, Camilla, are just so foreign to me. I have done one really, really pre-planned, intentional working, and maybe I just went too pre-planned, just too much, but it went to fucking hell. It was a goddamn nightmare.
See, for me, I have to kind of plan it out, otherwise it's just like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm not so much like an off-the-cuff kind of person. It's kind of like baking, I need a recipe.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that actually... Okay, so somebody was asking in the comments. Mr. Zombie says about 50-50. Jacques was asking if I could elaborate, and Crackbite said they don't really understand. I think that was about this topic. It's cooking. Actually, great analogy. Something like with what you're doing is, following a recipe, or not following a recipe, but making a recipe beforehand to follow. Whereas,
kind of like baking versus cooking.
Yeah, where
you
cooking,
like
you can
what I
kinda
do
wing it.
is a little more along the lines of baking. You got your plan, whatever you say is what you say. That's off the cuff, but the overall setup and what I do is pretty much planned. However, you can just almost like making a stew. You just throw random shit into the pot and hope it tastes good.
Yeah, Babushka says that's good soup. CM Hilnikian says both. Dark Lord Sparta says they make it up. Empirical guessologist, a little bit of both. Vatorius depends on my mood. Hey, there's that guy you were talking about.
Oh yeah, we mentioned your name earlier, Vatorius.
Depends on my mood. Sometimes I do as I go, and other times I really intentional the fuck out of my rituals. Mr. Zombie, I always plan on being more intentional, but end up just winging it. Roberto Bellotti? I usually start with the loose plan and then let observations or synchronicities guide the process too.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, maybe this is just my opinion, and maybe it's a hot take, but I feel like when you stick to the recipe too strictly, maybe it's just me, I've never really felt shit from it.
Well, it's not really a recipe, guys. I mean, here's the thing. This is the I'm listening to everybody's comment, and I go, okay, so they think it's a cookbook, they think it's a recipe. It's like nobody listened to what I said earlier about it being a performance art. And when you recognize that it's a performance art, then you can do improv performance art. You can have really strictly planned stuff. Some people, if you do your Shakespeare wrong, they will want to crucify you, even if it's better the way you did it. So, being that it is more or less a form of performance art, if we're really being honest, that's why I have constantly said, as a magician, I'm like an improv magician most of the time. Even when I'm following a script, I still improvise. And by improvise, I don't mean like I just make up for things that I make a mistake on by just coming up with shit off my cuff. I mean, I will set out to do a ritual for X, and I will plan my ritual, and I will get into the ritual chamber and situation, and those plans usually fold pretty quick. Now, that's not how it is for everybody. Some people truly love and only function best when they're in a rigid system that is like high ceremonial magic, where they've got to get it exactly as written, because it's just, that's in their mind, that is what moves them. You know, like they're the Shakespeare guy who says, no, you said the line with like a 3-second delay, it's supposed to be 0.2, you know, like that kind of shit. Those people are not wrong either. They're not wrong. It's just not my way.
Your costume cannot be clean. All of Shakespearean actors were covered in shit.
Yeah. So when we're playing this game and we're talking about how we do magic and this kind of stuff, that's how you can tell a lot about where people are at on magic, you know, in their understanding, in my opinion. If they think it's a cookbook where they think that it actually fucking matters what color candle you use, then the great irony, or the greater irony of that, is that even though they're not right, they're not wrong, because that's how it works for them. But it isn't a cookbook. It just isn't. It's never been a cookbook. Any more than, you know, and one could say that the good thing about calling it a cookbook is that, you know, a recipe you can improvise on. Of course you can. But a cookbook is about the ingredients, whereas performance art isn't. Performance art is about what moves things. So there is a difference. It's subtle, but it's there. And that's why I don't like to call it a cookbook. And you can tell the cookbook guys, like I get magic books and they're basically a cookbook of spells. And I'm not criticizing that. It's just the intention is different. The perspective is different. And it works different.
You're talking about the magic books where it's more of just a grimoire of, if you grind up the unicorn's horn into dust and then brew it into a tea, you will become invisible, and not the...
Sure, that's a great example. Yep.
He said with the utmost sarcasm.
No, that is a great example of exactly what I mean. Like it literally reads like more like a cookbook, and because it kind of is. Mm. They really think that the substances are what does it in their mind. Now, this is the reason I say that's not entirely wrong, is because, well, if they're that attached to the substance, you know, they're still communicating to their subconscious mind, and they're still engaging that kind of spiritual play activity. Spiritual play as in like drama play. If they're still doing that, then it doesn't matter. If the more they believe it, the more it may work for them. But again, what are we actually trying to invoke? Are we trying to invoke an effect? If so, yeah, that's not actually what you're doing. You may think it's what you're doing. It may manifest for you that way. But performance art, all art, is about causing you to have an experience of some kind, to become aware of something, to shift your attention to something. These chains are not cooperating.
I don't even know how you begin.
Well, I actually can't visualize at all, so I'm actually just looking at this and going, where should the shadows be? And I'm actually like doing complicated algorithms in my head that say shadows fall here. Like there's literally, I have no picture in my head. I have no idea what this looks like. Like, I have no idea what it's going to look like. In other words, it's just, I see a line here, shadows probably follow this line probably. So I'm actually discovering this picture along with you guys.
Yeah, when I try that, it's kind of like all my... Every neuron in my brain is working just fucking overclocked, and they're all still stupid. Mac Callum says, to be honest, I got my best result with literally no items or anything. Just me playing like a kid in the garden. Pretend.
Yeah,
There you
I mean,
go.
I don't, how do I put this? I believe to do magic correctly, you really should have 3 components. You do need the mind, body, and spirit. You can't say, I don't use anything but my mind, but you can say, I use my body. You can say, my body was my tool. Totally legit, no question. Because I remember there was one person I had a conversation with, I don't need any tools. I can just sit there and in silence, and I can do a spell and everything I want happens. I'm not saying you won't. I'm saying that that's like riding a tricycle with 1 wheel or 2 wheels or something. It's possible to do it. It's just, why limit yourself? You know, why not use something? And somebody just blooped me. Was that you guys?
Perhaps.
I'm just gonna let you guys keep talking. I think we're getting close to time over anyway.
Yeah, we've been going at it for damn near 4 hours. Actually,
I gotta
wait,
get up
no,
tomorrow.
math. Oh my god, fucking. Almost 3 hours. Oh fuck, I really am stupid sometimes.
Yeah, so okay, so we'll leave this off here and I will finish it. I will do a few more things to this, but it is getting closer to being done all the time. I have a feeling like this will be done sometime in the next few days. I don't think I'm pretty sure I got all the detail I want to do. I feel like down by his belly button could use something to, you know, as you're scanning across the image, I wouldn't mind having something for you to look at down there. And I wouldn't mind putting something maybe over his head. Maybe I'll do like a halo or some shit, I don't know.
Give him one of these.
Yeah, something like that. But I think in terms of general detail, it's done. I'll probably I need a little something more up here because I need to balance out where your eyes are going. Right now, you have the light which you look at, then you gaze across the page and you look at him and all this shit. But I'd like to have like a crucifix scene or a halo or something up there. And then down here, I don't know what to put, but something just to give your eyes something to do over here when you come here. So it's not just like, oh, fat guy. So, I don't know. It's not my best work. I'm going to say that. It's not my best work. I enjoy it. And I'm sure somebody's looking at this going, you don't like that? That's not, holy shit, I'd kill everybody to be able to do that. But for me, it's like, I've done better. But I do like it.
I like it. I think it looks good.
I like it too.
Well, I'm glad you guys like it. Thank you.
I still think the wispy guy should be a slightly different color, but that's just me.
What color?
More along the lines of yellow.
Like
Brown.
a kind of cayenne orange.
Yeah, there you go.
But with like hints of aquamarine.
Ooh.
You know what?
Does it?
If I slap you all completely hard,
Do it, Daddy.
Yes,
Well-
Daddy. Do it.
so what color are you saying, Sweet Petunia?
Like he was saying, almost like a burnt sienna.
I don't know what that is.
Orange brown.
Is that what that is?
So glowing
I'm
light
making
people
shit
should
up.
be brown.
Or no,
Are-
umber? Umber?
Are you saying they can't be brown?
I think it was burnt umber, the orangey brown.
So like that?
I have
I
no
can't
idea. Your
see it on
video's
your
froze.
screen anymore.
You can't?
No.
It's on the live stream.
Yeah, it's lagging. It's way behind.
And I can't maximize you guys. How do I unmaximize you guys?
I have no idea.
Like you guys are max on my other screen. There we go.
Oh, now it's changing on the stream.
Because that's like your burnt sienna color that I got right now.
Still can't see
Kinda.
it.
God damn it.
I got a big gray square covering everything.
Yeah, you know what? I like that. Yeah, that looks good.
He's like, yeah, it's good. Whatever it is, it's good.
Yeah,
It's
no,
good now.
no. I flipped over to the live stream on YouTube. I can see it now. Yeah, that looks good. It was such a good idea, me.
Oh no, I hate that. No,
It's
that's
too-
white.
I don't know. I like the other way better now.
Do you mean like more like a bright orange?
No, not bright. Blendy. I don't know.
There is no blendy though. If I blend it, it's gonna mud into the background.
Oh, I mean translucent. I don't know. Go back to the.
Well, that's
white.
not the
white's
same thing as
better.
changing
That's
its-
better. Yeah, like that.
I don't know.
I don't know. I like it anyway, regardless.
Art is hard.
That's right.
Oh yeah, no, that.
Now I have to
Right
produce
there.
like 7
That,
versions.
yep.
I have to produce one with like the really glowy ghosts for the people who want that, and then the one with the dark glows, the dark ghosts. You know, I could be a dick. Hold on, actually, you know what? Let me solve the whole thing.
Oh no.
I'm gonna solve the whole thing. Fuck all y'all. No, let me solve the whole thing. You ready? You guys are gonna love this. This is what I'm gonna do.
Oh boy.
Boop. Hold on. Not like that.
What did you?
I don't know what I did. That shouldn't have done that. What did I do?
I think you clicked on duplicate layer, didn't you?
Yeah, but
Somebody.
what did I do wrong?
Somebody has a layer in overlay, or fucking multiply or something.
That's got to be what it is somehow. Well, multiply is actually kind of okay, but that's not what I want. It could be because they're not the right density. Because I merged them all at 60%.
Oh.
So even though it's... Even when I do a full copy, it copies it, but it holds that percentage. So, you fucked me up.
Just undo it then.
I can't, though. That's not how this works. It's not how any of this works. So the only way that I know of to fix it is to do that. You like them better as black shadowy things? I don't.
No.
It would look best if it's not the way that it is. Just keep doing things, and all of them are gonna be wrong. It's a moving target always.
What was that about moving goalposts?
Holy fuck nut, guys. Really?
I think it would look best if each one of them was a different color.
Next thing you know, it's going to be fucking Christmas looking around here.
You know, you should put like if they're up in the air like that, you had a duplicate down on him that was darker. You should make like shadows on him.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I don't think ghosts cast shadows. They're like lightsabers.
No, I know.
You don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows.
I figured out what part of it was that was bothering me. The perspective. It's because he got all the people over there that look so tiny, and then these ghosts are just like rolling in like King Kong right next to him.
I mean, I guess. Is that better? Maybe just change where they are. Oh my god, where'd my freaking banners go again?
Excuse me?
My banners are gone again.
Your banners. Okay, that
you guys
is
made me delete my banners
what I
over
heard.
and over and over again because you're like, oh, I don't like that, I don't like that, I don't like that. Now I got my banners are gone. My ghosts are there, but my banners are gone. What the hell happened to my banners now? If I lost the banners that I spent the whole street working on, I'm going to be like, nope, this is done. We're good.
You still got banner.
Dude, where did it go?
Oh no, hold on. I'm watching the instant replay right now. Try to figure out what layer you moved that fucked it.
I deleted a whole fuck ton of layers. That's got to be what it is. Yep, there it is. Because it's attached to a layer that it shouldn't be attached to.
Constant art problem.
I should label these. I'm being lazy. That's really the problem.
Never
Takes
label.
so much time to label and organize friggin' layers, though.
Especially when I have to like lean over and type it all in.
Yeah.
So which fucking layer is that on, motherfucker? Goddammit! That one. Okay. So what am I deleting over here?
So I am gonna have to go soon.
Yeah, let's make that happen.
Just send me away.
Just gonna send you away now.
Hey, I found your banner.
Yeah, I found him.
Did you add eyebrows to him, or did my perspective just shift again?
I think you jumped universes again.
Okay. Okay, cool. So, yeah, see, in Universe A, he didn't have tears. At least not tears like that. And in Universe B, he also didn't have eyebrows. And apparently now I'm just in Universe C.
Could be.
I don't remember the eyebrows myself, but I remember the tears.
So we came from Universe B together then. And now we're living in DH's Universe C.
About Universe D for the Dick universe.
Oh my God, guys, what the hell?
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there once God gets a tummy tuck.
Oh man. So I don't know, guys. We shall see. I'm going to make the picture go away. But I think next stream I'll work on a different picture. I do think that, because I'm kind of tired of this one. It's cool, but I'm kind of over it. I think it needs, I don't know if it needs a lot more, but it's getting close to signature time, I can say that. If you guys have any suggestions for easy shit I can add just to make it not too busy, but add a little bit more to it. You know, hell, vote. Do you want the ghosts or no vote? No ghosts. That's fine too. Ghosts or no ghosts is fine too.
You added crosses, right?
Where?
Throughout the crowd?
Yeah, they're hard to see. They're hard to see from the. If you have the full size of the picture, it'll be fine.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
It's just hard to see from where I'm sitting.
northeast.
I'm
of
not.
Nipple.
I've never done a crowd before, so.
No, I think it looks good.
I like Dark Lord Spot. He says, "I feel like DH is driving, and we hear the kids in the back going, what's going on? What are they talking about?"
It's Bert Orange, Harold. What the fuck? Carol?
Dark Lord Sparta. In Universe D, it goes back to A, which means magic is in the butt.
It does. It does. Oh, you guys. Do you guys, like, love me, or am I just that cringy that you guys love to watch me? But, anyway, guys, I think Fleshy's right. I think everybody's right. I think we've hit our... I don't know if we're on hour 3, but we've got to be close, if not over.
We've just
So,
hour 3.
yeah, I think we just hit hour 3. So, let's do a quick buy or crap segment and get out of here. Let's blow this popsicle fart.
So, the absolute best place, if you want to support DH over here, is
Which I don't know why you would. Freaking psycho.
is to go to Amazon and buy a book, Energy for Energy. You can get them in Kindle version or paperback, like I chose to do. You can even, I think you still have some of those available to sign on.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, on your, I just lost the name of it. Help me out. What was that website?
Etsy.
Etsy.
Thank you.
So if you go in the description of this video, you'll see a link that says Linktree. I have that, so instead of listing like 1,000 links down below, it's just the one. And if you click that, it'll blow up into the links that are important. There's about 4 or 5 at the top of the most important. And if you go there, you'll see links to all of my crap. I think I've seen most of you guys a million times, so I don't think I'll be getting many new sales at this moment of the night out of it. But if you guys want to support me, you can go to those various links. The one I'm most proud of right now is the weekly classroom that I do. And that is something I do through Discord, and you have to go on Patreon to sign up for that. That's $20 a month, and it's pretty much every week on Monday from, what do I have it at? 9 p.m. Eastern Time till about 11 Eastern Time, give or take a half hour or so. And it's $20, one low price. You get all the classes I do. You know, occasionally I'll skip one because of a weekend or something comes up. Not a weekend, but a holiday. But it's pretty much been every week. There's well around 35 hours worth of content now that you can watch anytime you want because it's all recorded. So that is what I'm most proud of. And I will be moving the hosting for those videos at some point. I don't know when, because that's going to be a chore to do. but I will be trying to move them over to something else. And it's a live class. I'm not as irreverent and goofy. You know, Plushie really brings out the goofy side of me. I'm way more serious and practical. In fact, the last video on this channel, if you liked that, that's an example of the classroom. So it's a participation classroom and everything. So it's not as good as live, like in person, but it's the next best thing. Next best thing to being in person. So if you guys want to support me, that's a great way to do it. You get something really good out of me. You get some more time with me if you find me that interesting, which I don't know why you would. And then there is... yeah, I know. That's that false humility I always hate. But yeah, no, there's the books. That's a great way because you get a product. Etsy should be blowing back up again soon now that the wife is no longer working full time. Well, not as much full time.
Beyond full time.
Right. Yeah, beyond full time. So some more mirrors will be coming very soon. Maybe even next week. We'll see.
I actually have some that I just have to put the mirror
The
part
glass
in.
on. Yeah.
But I was gonna get them up before I went back to work 7 days a week, but I just never got around to it. I was burnt out a little bit from going back part-time.
Yeah. So maybe by next week we'll have some up for you guys, and maybe I'll have another painted skull for you guys for those who like those.
I have some new designs that I'm already planning out too.
Actually, I didn't plug these in a while. I don't know how well that's showing up, but these are actually made by someone. This is my design, and I'm selling them on my Etsy. So if you guys are interested in crystal balls with legit symbols in them, this would be a good choice. And they glow really nice when you put them on a glow display.
Yeah, those things are fucking bitchin'.
Yeah, so. Anyway, guys, that should do it. Hope you guys liked everything tonight. I hope you guys are finding it to be a beautiful Thursday. Next week should be the midsummer stream. I will most likely be having some special guests on that week, at least one or two, and maybe we'll make it a live call, and maybe we'll even do some kind of ritual stuff. I don't know, probably not, but you never know. And we will probably talk about everything to do with that time of year. Yeah.
I will have to read up.
Who's just a troll? Who's just a troll? Raul Fernandez is saying, nah, he's just a troll. Who's just a troll? Me? Am I a troll? Anyway, guys. So we'll check you guys next week. In the meantime, love you a lot. Talk to you later.
Tell your friends, warn your enemies, and mind the
Mind
shadows.
all those shadows. Yes. And never take yourself more seriously
Than your enemies.
That's what that one dude said. You just stealing off Mr. Mustache and his samurai code thing.